Well, hello. Fancy seeing you here so soon. It's Jake Peach here, bringing you live coverage of the Trent Valley Kart Club Championship here in the heart of Lincolnshire today, and welcome to our SlipStream members who we value very dearly because you have joined us from Alpha Live, become a SlipStream member, which means you can catch up with all of the finals action here for the Trent Valley Kart Club Championship Round 2 today. I say catch up, watch live and be across all of the racing action. We're straight in. We had a stoppage in one of our mini-max races earlier on, so a very short gap between our morning session and afternoon session means we're straight underway into Junior Rotax action here. A C final for today, because there's so many Junior Rotax runners. We're into our C final. Aaron Berridge will lead away Ralph Rakitis and Cash Harris and Lily Shaw, Jay Singh and Henry James, Elliot Smith, Luca Matechakicha and Jensen Evans, and Ollie Healy's down to P10. And here we go for our 16 runners in this C final for PF International for our Junior Rotax. Someone's off the road through the chicane at the back, not too sure who that was. Zach Turner, you can see, for Coles Racing, back towards the rear of the grid in 16th at the moment. Who's out in front at this one at the moment? Aaron Berridge to the front of the field. Oh, and out finds his braking there. That was, who was that? I think that was possibly Ralph Rakitis with a 2D Motorsport. Was that getting out of shape on the braking? Just got it completely wrong into that hairpin, mainly because I think there's a few drops of rain out there at the moment, which could be playing havoc once again here in Trent Valley. Oh, and the two come together out in the final sector. I think that was two Dan Holland Racing karts. That's not what you want to be seeing. Jensen Evans particularly, I'm not too sure what the other kart was, but now that's completely changed the order of what you see in front of it. So it's Cash Harris, followed by Aaron Berridge, Lily Shaw in P3, Oliver Hutchins and Zach Turner up from the rear of the grid to P5 with the PF plate here. In 6th place, Charlie Aball and Alfie Skit down to Ollie Healy and Callum Boot. In P9 down to P10 for Elliot Smith, your top 10 right now. Look at Zach Turner coming through the grid like they're not even there. Zach Turner up into P4 now, chasing down then in front of Lily Shaw, and equally goes up the inside of Lily Shaw incredibly quickly, and now into 3rd place. Zach Turner really not hanging about here in what might be looking like tricky conditions out there. Looks like it's slightly damp in the 3rd sector of this PF International circuit. Some close racing there between Lily Shaw and Oliver Hutchings for 4th and 5th. And they come across the line. It's no surprise to see that Zach Turner is setting the fastest lap of the race and looking to make hay on the 1st place position that he wants to get on after. Yeah, Jensen Evans for Dan Holland Racing caught up at the back there. Looks like he got going again, but he's got a lot of work to do now to get to the front. And now look at this, Zach Turner to the front of the race lead. Aaron Berridge down into 2nd with Cash Harris also involved there, and it's, I would like to say it's not a contest, but Zach Turner just showing there sort of the class above the field at the moment, and looks like Zach Turner is going to find his way towards the front of this C final. So 4 minutes rather, 4.5 minutes left on the clock, plus 1 lap for our racers here. And they're coming through to the bowl section for the first time. And the first time this lap rather, and off the Litchfield Bridge, and coming off of there, some nice racing between These two drivers here of Oliver Hutchings and Cash Harris. So Oliver Hutchings coming out on top there. And a very competitive grid towards the back of the field. Oh, and off in the background there. It must be very slippery out there at the moment because there are drivers going off and different places, and drivers getting a little bit out of shape as they come on through the third and final section, the technical sections. Remember, in these C finals and finals to go towards the main final later, the top 4 progress through to our main final in our categories to take home the trophy for this round of the Trent Valley Kart Championship here up in Lincolnshire. Let's dial in and see how we're all doing then into the first hairpin on your screen right now. I mean, you couldn't miss this kart, could you? It's the third place Charlie Eyeball hunting down towards Aaron Berridge if they can, and looking over the shoulder a little bit to see where Cash Harris is for company, with Henry James, Jensen Evans clawing back up the field, it must be said, in P6 right from the back after an earlier incident, and finding their way through. Surprise, surprise, Zach Turner sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:01.79, fastest first sector as well, 4 and a bit seconds ahead of his second place man in second place now, or Aaron Berridge. Cash Harris seeing currently in 4th place, just been seen by race control, a 5-second penalty is going to be coming his way in this race. That's going to drop him way down, almost to where the likes of Elliott Smith and Callum Boots are. So that's unfortunate, because Cash Harris running in 4th at the moment and was going to be in a good place and a chance to be in the top 4 to go through to the next stages of our races today. But unfortunately, I think that'll be incredibly difficult for Cash Harris to make any moves on that. So it's a nice dive down the inside there. Beautiful move from Henry James, I think it was, on the 4th place match. We're talking about Cash Harris. So Henry James, if he's maintained a position over the bridge, and seeing the Henry James coming out in front. Yes, so Henry James in front of Jensen Evans right now, and in control of that place there in 4th. And just hearing, you're probably wondering, why is Zach Turner in this C final? I was thinking the same thing. I was like, hang on a minute, he went out and won a race, and he did some great driving in the previous events. Well, it turns out he was basically, well, disqualified and outlawed for certain infringements in those races, so he's now having to recover and recuperate all of the progress and the hard efforts that he made in those previous races to get up into the final races now. So of course, in terms of the quality out there, maybe his karts as well for the Coles Racing team wasn't to be expected in a grid like this at the moment, respectfully, after his performances this morning. But Zach Turner out in front then with a 6.5 second lead because of those problems and issues with scrutineering earlier on today in those races. So that's only just coming through to us now, and makes sense as to why we're seeing Zach Turner in the C final. But here we are then on the penultimate lap, and we probably won't be looking at Zach Turner for much of it because, I mean, there he is. He has a 7-second lead ahead of these two. Let's focus on this. 2nd and 3rd. Aaron Berridge ahead of Charlie Eball in 2 and 3, and then back to P4 for Jensen Evans, who's recovered up to P4. An incredible performance from Jensen Evans, considering he was right at the back of this grid only a handful of laps ago, and has recovered for Dan Holland Racing into this position. He's now got Henry James all over the back for this final paying position, with our front four runners going through into the next stage of their weekend, giving them another chance to get through towards the finals. Jensen Evans in control of what seems to be, and solidly, that fourth place now, 8.3 seconds off the lead, which you can see Zach Turner coming across the line now to take victory here at PF International. Not too much celebration, just proving that he can do it for all to see. Aaron Berridge taking P2, Charlie Ball and Jensen Evans, the fastest lap of the race there, right at the death. A minute .31 with the fastest lap at the end. Dan Holland Racing coming good there. Coles Racing, Charlie Ball Privateer as well. So our top four, Zach Turner, Berridge, Iball and Evans, will go through to the next stages of their junior Rotax weekend. And Zach Turner showing that can go from back to front in that race there as well. Commiserations to Henry James, who just missed out on that P4 space and spot for him. Lily Shaw and Atechakia further down in P7, down to Cash Harris, Alfie Skitt and Oliver Hutchings. Alfie Skitt, Oliver Hutchings for Dave Edwards Racing, both respectively rounding off your top 10 in that one. BC at Clark of course there. Dan walking across the grid, getting ready with his notes for the next races to come. In our finals, round 2 of the Trent Valley Kart Club Championship this afternoon. All right, let's get into our next finals for today. And because of the level of runners, not only in the junior Rotax grid, but less so, but still in the senior Rotax field too, we have a B final here for you to give our drivers another chance to make it through to our final proper later on in proceedings today. There's some names you probably want to watch out for here. Willow McIver for Hunter Motorsport will be wanting to use this opportunity as much as they can. Owen Rathbone as well, Privateer, running the Carlos Sainz chassis down in P10. And Matthew So, who unfortunately was out of the last few heats and has got this chance again to make amends from a previous issue and going out of the race before. So your grid looks like this. Ethan Martin starts on pole. Ollie Goodyear, followed by Robbie Rathbone, Harvey Quick, Bailey Walters, Lydia Scatchard, Willow McIver, Samuel Kirkwood, Joseph Orton, Owen Rathbone, Noah Graville, Oscar Shivek, Liam Moretti, Arthur Brownless, Rocco Valentino, Kieran Glanville, Isaac Ward and Matthew So for Jack Dex Racing is how we are going to be setting up and underway for this one. Very busy grandstands here at PF International with all the team mechanics and members watching on for their drivers and teams. Are we going racing? No, it's a false start and we are going to go round again because our race director Nigel on the main gantry wasn't happy with how we were underway with some of our racing there, sticking within the tram lines, with the stragglers at the back of the grid. And we go around again for another formation lap. Nice chance for our drivers to weave some more temperature into their tyres. I do believe there was a slight shower in the last race, so hopefully they can clear away some of that damp water, damp patch for this extra formation lap. and use this time to find their feet even more so on a track that they've got very familiar with now this afternoon, but the conditions changing all the time. So on your screen there you could see Bailey Waters for Team Evolution coming through your shot. Leading us round though, Ethan Martin, Ollie Goodyear. Side by side, look, they're side by side now. The formation is being set. And they're coming round. So after a full start, you do expect the grid to be filed around a little bit slower to make sure that all of our runners get away smoothly, and the way that our race control stewards and officials would expect, to make sure all of the racing is as fair and proper so we can get going here at PF International. We are underway this time through the tram lines, and it looks as though Ethan Martin has held on to pole position into the chicane, and Ollie Goodyear trying to hold on to that second place, but is going to be challenged somewhat around the outside, but it looks as if they've just held on to that, I say, up in P2, P3. It's completely changed because that's Bailey Waters up into P2 now, and Robbie Rathbone, the privateer, you can see there in the red helmet, into third place. So not sure what happened to Goodyear, who's filed down the order and only just coming through the timing lines for Sector 3. So an unfortunate start for Ollie Goodyear on the front row of the grid, and lost out in those first few stages. And now look at the gap that Ethan Martin has, wanting to hold on to this going through. You can see Martin followed by Waters, Rathbone, Harvey Quick, Joseph Orton, Ollie Goodyear down to P6. Oh, there's a spinner out on the outside through the chicane, and the bridge going to get going again, and needs to be careful when to rejoin the track. Doesn't collect any other carts there, but possibly that might have been Samuel Kirkwood for R1 Racing getting out of shape through the chicane, and they're wanting to get on their way again. There's Rathbone trying to push ahead and not to take too much notice of the hand signals. A sweet move up the inside there from Joseph Orton on Ollie Goodyear to further put misery on Ollie Goodyear's poor getaway in this race from P2 down to P5. Second and a quarter is now ahead of Ethan Martin and Bailey Waters, though Bailey Waters brings that gap down slightly, even though whilst Ethan Martin sets the fastest lap of the race. Look at this dive down the inside between Rathbone and Orton. Who's going to come out on top there? It's Rathbone for now, retains P3 on the podium. Once again, top four go through from this B final. Oh, nice move up the inside on the brakes. Oh, I thought it made it stick, but now has jeopardised not just one but two positions, has Joseph Orton, and has now let through Rathbone once again, and Goodyear into P4. So now Goodyear in the paying position to go through into the next stage of this weekend. Joseph Orton, McIver, Shrivek, Kirkwood, Matthew So up into P9, by the way. Matthew So from the back of the grid from 18th. That's an impressive start from Matthew. Liam Morelli down to P10. All losing out at the moment. Switch up the inside. Nice positioning and posturing there from Ollie Goodyear into P3 now. So Ollie Goodyear out front, and look at that gap he's got to try and close down on Ethan Martin now, but he's got Rathbone and Orton for company behind in these very distinctive, almost Deadpool-like liveries of their go-karts. I'm sure Ryan Reynolds isn't driving them and is more bothered about how Wrexham's weekend has gone in the championship. If you're following football as well. Obviously we're not commentating on football, just the two overlapped, okay? You're watching karting, which I would say is possibly more enthralling and exhilarating at this stage of the season, and just generally you can see Robbie Rathbone coming through there at breakneck speeds, whilst I can see here from race control, that's a real shame. Willow McIver for Hunter Motorsport has been given a technical flag by race control, so not too sure what that is for. Maybe a bit of bodywork hanging off. There may be something to do with a chain guard. Will need to come into the pits though, will Willow, and that is the end of their weekend, unfortunately, for this round anyway. Joseph Orton coming through the Michelson complex there, hanging on to his car as much as he can, with Robbie Rathbone in the background. Joseph Orton now in that paying position of P4. Goodyear cementing it in P3 now. Looks a very different kind of race for Goodyear not too long ago, and now is in a great position where Goodyear is sitting at the moment. This battle between these three though, hotting up all the time because they're trying to find their breaking points, trying to push it as much as they can. Oscar Schiersbeck is on the charge here, trying to chase after Joseph Orton in P4. So this battle for fourth is the one we're obviously most interested about, because this fourth place, this final position, is so crucial to the future of their weekend. Ethan Martin, by the way, a race leader, was setting the fastest lap of the race as we talk about that. 2.3 second gap back to P2. Right now on your screen you can see Bailey Waters being chased by Ollie Goodyear as well though, which is much closer between P2 and P3, and Goodyear goes to the inside to take second place and further cements their place in this senior Rotax grid, that he wants to have a place and a part in the final later on. A casual wave of a hand forward to say, let's work together. The good old hand signals. What would there be without hand signals in karting? I mean, it's probably just as chaotic anyway, but oh, look, there's a nice move up the inside again from Oscar Schiersbeck on Joseph Orton and Rathbone, who have been batting it out and are losing progress. That means Schiersbeck is now into fourth place. Bailey Waters is now on the podium, sitting there in P3, still with a bit of a buffer back to Oscar Schiersbeck. So the top three looking pretty cushy right now. But it's all between Schiersbeck and Rathbone. Orton into P5. Wants to come back. Ollie Goodyear setting that pace there out front. Now got a bit of clean air to chase after Ethan Martin. Sets the fastest lap of the race with a 57.1, 0.3 of a second quicker than Ethan Martin's last lap of our race lead. You can see that gap's come down by a couple of attempts, now sitting at 2 seconds, but is 2 seconds too much of a tall order to get after for Goodyear to chase after Martin? Seems so. Is it too much of a tall order for Orton to regain up to P4 in front of Schiersbeck in the 96 car? On your screen right here you can see Lilia Scatchard in P9 coming through. But we have our penultimate lap here around PF International in this B final in senior Rotax. And coming over the bridge here you can see Schiersbeck in control of this one in the final few stages for hopefully something he's going to see unfold and come through for the Cato Motorsport team and hold on to this fourth place. Joseph Orton, Rathbone still batting it out behind. There's a couple of tenths of a second gap between the two. You can see the rear view picture there. Here's Schiersbeck for P4. Unless something drastic happens, Schiersbeck is hoping to make it into the next part of the weekend and leave Orton and Rathbone completely out of it. Although I say that, Orton on the final lap of the race here is starting to come back at Schiersbeck and has found a bit of extra pace out of nowhere, and Orton to the inside has taken the crucial fourth place as they come over the bowl section and along to the end of this one. But look at this, this is our race leader, Ethan Martin, out in the lead. Has been losing some pace to Ollie Goodyear, but looks like he's going to secure this one. Out the front, back on the inside is Joseph Orton. Oh, and they get caught up with each other, and now Schwierzweg back into 4th place. This is a proper battle, almost of desperation to hold on to 4th place, and out wide there has completely lost the composure. I think that was Orton getting out wide in the final complex, putting it all on the table. Ethan Martin finishing first, Ollie Goodyear second, Bailey Waters is third. Who's going to take your 4th place? It's Schwierzweg coming through on the line. And that is what she wrote for that race. Oscar Schwierzweg gets that crucial final 4th place. Ethan Martin, Goodyear, Walters, Rathbone just missing out in 5th. Joseph Orton put it all on the table there, but unfortunately wasn't to be. We had a couple of mechanical failures in that one, as well, technical flags, with some of our drivers having to peel away. So, good news for our top 4 drivers. Not so for the rest of them. That's the end of their weekend from Rathbone down. All very close in the last few stages there. Second round of the Club Championship here at Trent Valley at PF International. And it's great to have you on board watching on Alpha Live. SlipStream members getting access instantly after the heats in our morning session to see how this action is going to unfold and conclude this afternoon. Just waiting for a couple of karts and checks to be made on the rest of the circuit. And whilst we do that, let's get to our next race for this afternoon. So we had our first repêchages, if you like, or B finals, C finals, for drivers to have another chance to make it through to our final propers, and now we are into finals territory, where we will welcome our Minimax 950 runners onto the circuit. And for our final races of the day, your time goes up slightly from 8 minutes plus 1 lap to 10 minutes plus 1 lap. We do have one more B final in Junior Rotax later on in proceedings in about 2 races time, but until then we are going with all of our finals for our categories here at PF International, and we are currently waiting in the wings for our Minimax 950, but you can see the green flag being waving. That lets them off the dummy grid here in the paddock, and away our races go. And this is going to be, I'm really looking forward to this final. I'm looking forward to all of them, but this battle at the front I am really excited for. Otis Cleary battling with Jensen Sale in the previous and final heat of Minimax 950 earlier this morning was a real treat to watch. Can't quite call how it's going to finish with proceedings this afternoon, but Otis Cleary, Jensen Sale leading off from the front row. Then it's Luke Millwood, Eddie Duncan, Akil Gioni up into P5 for the final. Great performance from Akil towards the end of this morning's session. Elliot Bork, Lewis Herbertson, Alfie Phillipson, Flynn Grantham and Drew Davidson. Evan Mellor, of all of his efforts in the earlier heats, up to P11. Evan Mellor definitely one to watch as well, given the progress that he was making in the last heats, with Ben Follen Motorsport truly behind him as well. Chloe McGill for Sam Pollitt Racing in P16. Then Soren Gallagher, Freddie Blackshaw, Charlie Heffer on the 9th row. Dexter Petty, Rio Pinietu, Thomas Laidler, Finley Rhodes, Finley Beals, Alex Tonikis is on P24. Otto Amy, William Moore, Jensen Skeff is up in 27th. To P28, Ted Hayward, Sam Fleming, Jack Hill, Ayrton Galsworthy, William Davidson is up to P32. And let's see how this all comes out at the end of this one. Why do they do that? I just build up for my big start of a race, and then we have a full start again. It's fine though, because I can get me a bit more a ref. The reason we have a full start, all jokes aside, is because our 53 runner, you can see on our screen right there, is having a little bit of trouble with their car. Noah Wilco, our privateer, was going to be starting off in P14 and had a bit of an issue with the choke of their car, unfortunately, or some other mechanical issues, which means we will be going round again. And seeing how our racers will be getting underway properly for this Minimax 950 final. You can see the yellow flags out there to tell our drivers to slow it right down as they come through the Fullerton S's into the Mike Wilson complex here, which will be obviously a lot faster in just a moment. Our marshals keeping a watchful eye, and our team here at Trent Valley to make sure everyone is in the correct positions. Jensen Sale though looks racy, looks like he wants to be properly up on the inside of Otis Cleary, letting Otis know that this is not going to be as easy as maybe a couple of the other races. Certainly Otis's first race in the wet this morning, which was a great performance, but Jensen Sale also keeping him very close in the last heat of Minimax 950. We are underway this time, and Jensen Sale has dropped back quite a tad there and dropped a couple of places down to P3. They've just dropped one place down to P3 from his starting position, but Otis Cleary has maintained the lead out front, and as they come off the bridge there, Otis Cleary now, I believe, has Luke Millwood for company, up one place from second. Jensen Sale's having to go really defensive very early on in this race, battling the charge from, if I'm not mistaken, is that Riley Blakemore? No, the 38. The 38. It's Luke Millwood. I'm trying to look a bit further back. We'll confirm as they come across the line. The 288. Oh, Kilshione. So Kilshione was right on the tail of our runners there. So fantastic start from Otis Cleary, cementing this position so far. And on to the start-finish straight proper for the first time. And it's Otis Cleary, but then Jensen Sale was pulling a move round the outside there, it looked like, on Luke Millwood, and Jensen Sale is through into P2, reasserting that podium position that he started on for this race once again. Now we're coming towards the first hairpin. Millwood trying to regain composure, who's currently in P4. These are your second top two runners. Otis Cleary, Jensen Sale. This is going to be a battle to watch for sure for the rest of this race. It's going to be an almighty scrap, I feel, throughout the rest of that. There's a driver going through there, made a couple of places up into the Fullerton S's. Nice move by them. Might look like Elliot Bork or Lewis Herbertson responsible for that one. I think it was Elliot Bork throwing it up the inside. Lovely moves from Elliot there in that part of the field, but is it going to be a class above the rest for these two out front? Coming through your shot now on the latest lap. Otis Cleary, Jensen Sale with 9 minutes and 40 seconds and 1 lap on the clock. Luke Millwood is in third. Eddie Duncan for company with a Kilshione. Back to Elliot Bork, Lewis Herbertson, Alfie Phillipson, and Flint Grantham, Drew Davidson, and Evan Meller and Adam Bart down to those positions there. So Sale, Cleary, followed by Millwood and Eddie Duncan in third and fourth. Kilshione, Elliot Bork down to fifth and sixth. Herbertson, Phillipson, seventh, eighth. Grantham, ninth. Davidson, 10th. Evan Meller outside the top 10 at the moment, just about. But we're coming across the start-finish line here. And it is close as ever with our front two runners with Sale and Otis Cleary. Who's going to come off the bridge? I love a camera shot that waits a few seconds before we see what happens of it, because it's like a cliffhanger. Is Otis Cleary going to come off the bridge first? Is Jensen Sale going to come off? It is Cleary still out in front here. Jensen Sale setting the fastest lap of the race, about 10th quicker than his rival in front of him at the moment. Jensen Sale posturing to himself there, to be like talking to himself, you need to do better than this, or was hoping that Cleary would look over his shoulder and notice the gesture that he was giving, saying, can we carry on a little bit? Can we just stay like we are? So Jensen Sale, it proves in this race, of a much longer race of 7 minutes, it's probably going to have to be a case of being very patient, like Jensen is very good at, and we've seen in the last heat, of sitting where he is at the moment, to sit and wait, and probably till about a minute to go, or the penultimate lap here for this Minimax final, and then strike when he needs to. Our Minimax is roaring through the bowl section over the bridge for this time, and back to Sale, back to Cleary, who has got the fastest lap of the race. There's nothing to choose between them, a 10th and a half is what you can see on your screens here. Akil Gioni, by the way, up into P3 whilst we're focusing on these two. Really great performance from Akil today, up from P5, so up into P3, a gain of 2. Not too bad in terms of progress at the moment. Luke Millwood in P4 though, trying to hang on to the progress of Akil. Here we are then, coming across the start-finish line once again. He's getting signals and gestures from the grandstands here at PF International from the team to say whether to push more, just to hold station, hold fire. As Alfie Phillipson, as we know, he's very capable around this circuit and across the UK, sets the fastest lap of the race. With these two here, look out the front, they've got a nice tidy gap behind, almost a 2 and a bit second gap, with Cleary and Sale ebbing and flowing all of the time. And our Minimaxers have a big crown to take home here for this weekend. Sale wanting to hopefully add to the championship, which he doesn't currently sit in the top 3. Neither of these two that are leading the race at the moment sit in the top 2. Is Oscar Kenny, James Roots, Dimitar Uznov, who are not featuring at all here this weekend, so there will be probably a equal championship leader depending on how the rest of their racing has gone. 257 entries in total this weekend for Trent Valley Kart Club Championship. See what Akil Gioni and Luke Millwood now working together as these two in a group to chase after the other two out front, Cleary and Sale. Sale just maybe dropping back slightly to get some fresh air into the radiator of his car and across the front wing, but you want to be right up the back and close as possible. Particularly with these two here are 3rd and 4th place runners. 15 new runners in Minimax this weekend, including these front two right here. Otis Cleary out front, doing it for Dan Holland Motorsport. The Pantano of Jensen Sale going round once again. 3.5 minutes plus 1 lap, our 3rd and 4th place on your screen right there. Look at the gap they've got back now. I'd like to think it's sort of kind of growing a little bit. I think it's just sort of stabilised at the moment. They've all equalised their pace, their VMAX around this track. And Cleary just not really taking opportunity to look behind that much. Focusing on the task at hand. Knows that there's a good amount of time still left in this race. And these two groups nose to tail, almost like, so impressive, the skill to be, you know, this close to each other with our professional racers out there. Not touch. Always find that there's pace in the tank as well. Know where your competitor's going to brake, read them, and also race very hard at the same time. That's the level of karting prowess we have on show here at PF International today. And it looks like Luke Millward there is in your X-Kart machine in the livery, looking over. I think he was looking over at the grandstand to try and see if there was just a signal that he might have wanted to give to the team, even that far over from the circuit, but keeping in track as well. Your number 38 chasing after Akil Shioni in this part of the track, in this third sector. And they're doing their best to close the gap, but it's 2.8 seconds to the lead from Akil Shioni, and almost 3 seconds now between the two of them there. Look at these two out front, class above the rest, showing them how it's done, setting the pace and chasing after as much as they can. Luke Millward, though, now with a minute and a half on the clock, trying to shape up that this is the time to make a statement. Get out there in the lead, very close to the edge of Akil Shioni's kart there, just about getting squeezed out. Excuse me, as Luke Millward tries to do the switchback to get onto the podium here at Trent Valley, but nothing doing. Switching back now, and Millward needs to be careful because he's now let Elliot Bork up into 4th place, and just like that, you can have a driver come out of nowhere when you're so focused on your battle in front. Millward now down to 5th place. 50 odd seconds left on the clock, plus 1 lap to go. And you can see our leaders coming around to lap traffic there. And does that give Sale a chance to make amends and capitalise on all of that? Lap traffic there, I believe, was our 26 Flynn Grantham for Thule Motorsport. Unfortunate there, bad luck to see him out of this one and out of the action. But here we are. Here's your 3rd place, hotting up all of the time. Akil Shioni now has got Elliot Bork all over the back, and I think he knows it, doesn't need reminding. He's now let Luke Millward back into the mix here, I'm sure, in just a moment or two. And now trying to figure out how Luke can find his way back up, looking over his shoulder, making sure there's not even more company from Evan Mellor behind now. Fantastic performance from Evan Mellor today, up 30 places in one of the heats earlier on. Started 11th in this one, up to P6, up 5 places. So fantastic gain of places going around here at PF International. We're on to our final lap here for Minimax 950 then. Let's keep on board with these two at the front and see who's going to come out victorious. Otis Cleary or Jensen Sale. Jensen Sale and Otis Cleary been very consistent indeed this weekend, and it's all or nothing now. Who wants to take home the crown of this Trent Valley Kart Club 2nd round trophy and put it into their cabinet to add to the other ones they've already got? Is Otis Cleary got the defensive prowess and stubbornness that's needed to hold off Jensen Sale coming into these final few corners through the Fullerton S's, through to Mike Wilson Complex? He gets a little bit out of shape there, does Otis Cleary, hanging on to the rear of his car, and Jensen Sale up the inside. What a move! He's taken it, it looks like here, unless Otis Cleary can pull off the extraordinary to the line. It looks like Jensen Sale's going to take victory, and he does. Wow, what a move by Jensen Sale in the final couple of corners in this Minimax 950 final. Jensen Sale is your winner ahead of Otis Cleary, Akil Shioni, Evan Mellor up to P4 in the end there, and also Luke Millward sadly down to P6 for Soren Gallagher, Lewis Herbertson, Drew Davison and Alfie Phillipson. That is how you make your patience pay. You leave your rival on the edge and then you make your move stick and you make it count. Ecstatic is Jensen Sale, gutted I'm sure is Otis Cleary, but some fantastic racing for our very first proper final of this afternoon in Minimax 950. Congratulations to Jensen. And I hope you loved that as much as I did, because I just love seeing moves there on the last lap, giving it everything, not leaving anything on the table, and making sure that they put all their talents to good use. And all of these opportunities to be at club championship rounds will all stack up into other championships across the season and help their campaign going forward into the rest of their career. That's going to do no harm for Jensen Sale, taking home victory today. All right, let's get on to, from our mini maxers to our micro maxers. And you just see kart out there on track that was a bit stricken behind in that race. Just need some time to clear that away. Just waiting for, I believe, waiting for the mechanics of that team to probably bring their trolley, come and collect the cart to the back. Oh, there is the mechanic, as I say that. And on to the trolley to get that back into the paddock. But whilst that's being cleared away and we can't go racing until the track is clear, you want to see what the marshals do round here at Trent Valley Kart Club for yourself. Want to come and volunteer and be part of the action? Well, you can.
Have you ever watched a kart race and felt the excitement, the speed, the competition, the energy, and thought, I'd love to be part of that? Well, here's your chance. Our kart race meetings are powered not just by drivers and teams, but by an incredible group of volunteers who make every race day possible. Without them, the racing simply wouldn't happen. Whether you're a motorsport fan, a parent of a driver, someone looking for experience, or you just enjoy being part of a team, we'd love to have you join us. What can volunteers do? There's a role for everyone. Track marshals, right at the heart of the action, ensuring safety on circuit. Grid and pit lane assistance, helping line up karts and keep the race meetings running smoothly. Scrutineering support, assisting with safety checks. Race control and administration, supporting timing, paperwork and organisation. Event setup and pack down crew. The team that makes it all happen behind the scenes. No prior experience? No problem. We provide training, support and mentoring. All you need is enthusiasm and reliability. Why volunteer? Be part of the thrilling world of kart racing. Learn new skills and gain valuable experience. Meet like-minded people and make great friends. Get close to the action in a safe and structured environment. Support grassroots motorsport and young drivers chasing their dreams. Many top racing drivers started their journey in karting. Our volunteers are part of that story. What's the commitment? You can volunteer for a single event or become a regular member of our team. We run regular race meetings throughout the year and every event needs dedicated people like you. Even a few days a year makes a huge difference. If you'd like to get involved with Trent Valley Kart Club, please speak to us today in the Race Control Office or contact us at claire@tvkc.co.uk. Come and be part of the team that makes race day possible. Because when the lights go out and the race begins, it's not just the drivers who make it happen, it's all of us. Thank you, and we hope to welcome you trackside soon.
So if you want to come and volunteer, be part of all of this action and possibly be here for our Micromax final, which we're going into in just a moment, and help all of our young drivers become the next parts of the motorsport worlds in different categories. You could have been part of that, and what a great feeling to pass on. So get in touch with all of those details and be part of Trent Valley Kart Club here. Be nice to have you. Alright, this is the Trent Valley Kart Club Championship. We're in round 2. We're in our Micromax final, baby. And we have an incredibly competitive grid once again, as we were just having one of our karts cleared from the last race of Noah Wilco's in the Minimax 950 category. But starting on pole for this one, Lenny Barton, after taking a bit of a storm of a victory in the last one. Jensen Darlow, Jane Prakash, who had a great victory in the first heat of Micromax this morning. But Arlo Gamble alongside, they're on row 2. Zach Andrew, Harry Riley, Will Wainwright, Kaio Vieira, Ronnie Allen, Caden Hanley, who was up there in one of our heats as well, rounds off your top 10 for this one. Watch out for Milo Taylor and Max Armick going from P19 and P24 respectively. So, can Lenny Barton lead Strawberry Racing to a bit of silverware and trophy this weekend at Trent Valley? Or will it be Jensen Darlow for Jack's Motorsport? Will it be neither of them? We'll find out as we're going racing here for Micromax. Across the line into the first chicane, and Lenny Barton holds on to the lead. And a dive up the inside, trying to be challenged for the inside there, but nothing doing. It is Lenny Barton leading the way from Jane Prakash, who is up into P2 very swiftly indeed. Upper place at the start. Jane Prakash almost looking to force the issue straight away, but then getting into their own battle. Jensen Darlow was trying to get in on the axe there, who has fallen down from P2 into third place. Look at these two battling straight away for the Micromax Current. Oh, and there's two off to the outside on there, out into the barriers, onto the walls. Who is that? That's the 69 of Caden Hanley for RCE coming together with one of the carts. So Caden started on the fifth row of the grid. P10 has got going again, but unfortunate for Caden, will do his best to try and get back in this one. But we're now to the front of the field because there's been more changes. Jane Prakash is now leading this one, just like he has done in the British Kart Championship with Lenny Barton, who was leading this one. Down behind him in P2 now, Arlo Gamble follows in P3. Will Wainwright in P4. Harry Riley is fifth. Kai Suri, Ronnie Allen, Rafe Owen. Sig Watts is in P9. Jensen Darlow down to P10. Goodness me. I don't know what happened to Jensen Darlow there in the first few stages of what I was just literally commenting on, but looks like he had a proper unfortunate set of circumstances, it has to be said, and now Jensen's got it all to do to climb further up once again. Has Jensen Darlow got an issue? Because he's now down to P11 as well. Archie Gupta up into the top 10. It's very uncharacteristic of Jensen if he's not had an issue, so we'll see how that pans out in a moment. Jane Prakash now though, out of the front, setting the pace. We have 10 minutes plus 1 lap for our finals, and we've got 7 minutes and 40 of it plus 1 lap to go right now. And look at this, there's not really any groups breaking away at the moment. It's Prakash with Barton and Gamble right on the back, with Wainwright and Riley following behind. You can see, and you can hear the mechanical revs of the Micromax carts going down through the RPMs and then building back up over the Litchfield Bridge to accelerate once again out on the curbing. And Jane Prakash is using every ounce of aerodynamic, well, I could say positions that he's trying to use at his disposal. That's a 72 on our screen of Arlo Gamble trying to signal ahead to go after them as much as they can in P3. Taking a bit of time to have a bit of a breather out of this less challenging hairpin section. Oh, and this is a 5-second penalty for Milo Taylor then. Let's just come up on race control on your screens there, down in 18th. So not going to change the course of that race too much. Jane Prakash with the fastest lap of the race, 105.62, the equivalent exact same lap time from Lenny Barton. It's just the fact that Jane Prakash set it first, which means he has the fastest lap crown at the moment. They are absolutely odd as even at the moment in this one. Jane Prakash has got it all to do through strategy, through strength, and also through picking his battles at the right time and knowing when to defend, knowing when he can go back through and fake a move and also be in control of this race. The two out front are having a fantastic battle, and there's nothing to choose between them here at PFI at Trent Valley in this club championship. It's all on the table. Jane Prakash would love another victory to his name to take into his season and build on what's been a great 2026 so far, but a firm grip of the steering wheel for both of them. Ronnie Allen setting the fastest lap of the race now with a 105.1, and lots of you seeing just how impressive this racing is. Lots of you getting in touch on the live stream as well on our chat, thanks to our SlipStream members getting involved. Super Evan Meller, by the way, commenting in the last couple of races from P35 at the start of the day to P4 in the final. Super proud dad, says the Mellers. Well done to them. And good luck Milo and Rafe, says Stevie. Also getting involved because Milo is down at the moment towards the back of the grid. Unfortunately had a bit of a penalty situation as well. Milo Taylor down in 16th at the moment, but is going to drop further than that because of an issue. But Jane Prakash and Lenny Barton keeping nice and sweet out at the front here, and all doing very, very well and a good job of it with 4 minutes on the clock. Oh, however, though, further back to Arlo Gamble and Will Wainwright and Ronnie Allen, it is not as simple in this part of the track. You can see all of them battling here for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. And good scrap going on in this part of things. Oh, and the 57 getting a bit away with there. Ronnie Allen getting out wide. And now, as a result, dropping down to P6, even though he's got the fastest lap to his name at the moment. You can see Harry Riley there on your screen chasing after Arlo Gamble in P3. 5-second penalty for Arshi Gupta down in P10 for some of the conduct out there then. Unfortunate to see that. We just tell you the penalties that are coming through. We obviously don't decide any of them, have any opinion or say on the racing out there. We're here to call it as it is. Will Wainwright's getting a warning as well in 5th place whilst all of this is going on, and you can kind of understand because there's Arlo Gamble trying to fight off all of the moves behind and all of the skirmishes going on here. That's your runner of Will Wainwright going, I believe, up into P4 ahead of Harry Riley and batting all the time between them. So as they come into the 3rd sector, here's our race leaders. Prakash, there is Will Wainwright into P4. Prakash and Lenny Barton, 2.5 minutes on the clock and plus 1 lap. You can see the necks working there through that corner to try and take as much speed through those sections as they can and not leave anything on the table. Fastest lap to Jane Prakash sets the new pace of the race, being pushed along by Lenny Barton, a 104.91. And guess what? The exact same lap time from Lenny Barton. This is extraordinary between these two, of how they have just managed to just push each other along. On screen right now you can see the battle between them both unfolding lap by lap. A missing of a braking point there. So crucial, so vital not to have any mistakes in such a close race like this one. Lenny Barton dropping some time there, but probably going to gain it back very, very swiftly. Arlo Gamble a little bit further back as well to Lenny Barton, 2.8 seconds, and then about 0.6 of a second between 3rd and 4th right now for Wainwright, who's got to be careful. There's a warning flag that's been handed to Will Wainwright. It's got to be careful on the race conduct and how he goes about it out there. There's 1 minute and 10 plus 1 lap in this final of Micromax here at Trent Valley Kart Club for round 2 this weekend, and it is hotting up. It is building the tension between our two front runners. It has been very polite up to now, but one of them has got to win this race, and you bet that Jane Prakash will want to stay there, but they might have something to talk about it as well. And look at our runners even further back for the podium place, equally as coveted here at PF International. Arlo Gamble has Will Wainwright come down the inside, takes P3 off of him. Here's Prakash though, and Lenny Barton with 30 seconds on the clock. Are they going to make it round for a penultimate lap, or will we be on to our final? I do believe we're probably going to have 2 more laps, so Lenny Barton's got to try and think about this in his mind as to when the right time for a move is to go to try and surprise Prakash. Prakash knows that it's coming, I'm sure, but just knowing where it's going to be, what the timing is, what kind of move it's going to be. They're going to go around, yes, for 2 more laps, so that changes the dynamic of the final few stages of this race. Prakash sets the pace once again. They are odd as even. They are setting equal lap times, these two at the front. It's extraordinary racing between them both. They have shown how it is done in this Micromax field here this weekend. Nothing to choose between them at the moment. Is that going to change? Into the first hairpin we go. Prakash line astern with Barton. No defensive moves really kind of happening at the moment. They're just all being very civil with how they're going about their racing at the moment. Into the Michelson complex out of the Fullerton S's. Prakash here, they don't even seem, none of them seem to have a weakness around this track. You could say that Barton got a slightly out of shape with one of the braking manoeuvres in the last couple of laps into the hairpin, but it was minimal time loss. Here we go then for the final lap. Prakash knows that there's going to be a challenge all over the back of him in this next 1400 metres or so of PF International, and Prakash holds off Lenny Barton through that part of the track. But is it going to be the same for Litchfield Bridge? Is it going to be the same off down into the second hairpin? Here goes defensive. Does Prakash trying to hold off Barton right to the inside? Is he going to try and sweep round the outside and sweep underneath? Nothing doing there for Barton, whilst Jensen Darlow sets the fastest lap of the race, recovering in P8. Back to the battle for P1. Prakash shuts the door, shows him where you should stay, and he says, Barton, that's in P2 at the moment. This is my victory. I don't want anyone to take this away from me. I have been showing why I deserve to be in first place this season. I've taken a victory. The British Kart Championships have thrown up the inside. Oh, Barton's gone up the inside. He's taken and snatched victory on the road ahead of Prakash. It's Barton that's going to take victory and prove why he deserves some slice of the pie in front of Prakash for this Micromax final. It was looking all set for Jay and Prakash, but Barton takes victory out there for the moment for provisional results, followed by Ronnie Allen, Arlo Gamble, Will Wainwright, Harry Riley, Rafe Owen, Jensen Darlow back to P8, Arshi Gupta and Zach Andrew down to P10. Well, I'm particularly unbiased. There was a similar kind of incident and a move that happened in the kart championships in one of the finals there. There was some racing coming together, but that will be at the discretion of what happens there in race control and elsewhere, whether they believe that's fine. And that was a great move by Lenny Barton, or otherwise. We'll leave that for them to decide. But for now, it's Lenny Barton taking home the victory in this one. And we'll be seeing, hopefully, the full results for later on. And now, on to our Waterswift final. Okay, so here we are then for our Waterswift finalists. We've had 8 throughout the day, trying to accumulate as many points as they can in this one to set themselves up for the grid for this final foray at Trent Valley Kart Club. And Cody Vertigan is going to start us on pole again very, very shortly for this one. Reggie Chandler down in P5. Cody Vertigan, Travis Giddings, Frank Morris, George Greaves, Reggie Chandler, followed by Max Frisbee, Oliver Kleinfelter and Piran Brooks to P8. And that is our 8 runners coming out then, as you can see, into the bowl section here for the first time to get on the formation of this very pivotal, important race of their weekend. Reggie Chandler has been very much on the pace throughout the whole weekend, coming right from the back in other races, but Travis Giddings was up there as well in our previous races. Close battle between the two of them out front. Frank Morris was also on the case as well. We had incidents, we had penalties applied in some of our earlier heats in Waterswift. All of that is now out of the window. It is all about the final right now. Whoever comes out on top in this one takes home the trophy for this round of the championship, takes home valuable points to add up into their championship total. Let's see how it's all going to shape up as we go racing here for Waterswift Interfinal at the Trent Valley Kart Club Championship second round. And Giddings maintains his momentum from the earlier races, jumps Cody Vertigan at the start to take P1 and take the race lead. So Giddings to the race lead, with Cody Vertigan further back behind, also I think lost out to George Greaves. So George Greaves is in second position right now, and Vertigan down to P3. So not a great start for Vertigan, particularly in a small field as well, with all of our racers out there. And now Giddings can do what he did in the earlier races and try and build a bit of a gap, if he can, to get away from the clutches of Reggie Chandler, who you can see, who is fourth at the moment at the back of your screen, challenging already Cody Vertigan for third position and waiting to come through the back of the shot here at the start-finish line. There's Giddings emerging ahead still of George Greaves. Wants to work together, pointing ahead, using the strategy early on in this one. It's a long race, it's 10 minutes plus 1 lap around this Lincolnshire 1400 metre circuit. We have the bridge section, we come off the Litchfield Bridge there. We then come down into this first hairpin, and we do normally have some teamwork at this early on in the race. Vertigan thinks better of it and tries to size a move, but thinks that George Greaves should hold on to second place for now. But meanwhile, there's Reggie Chandler coming through, who doesn't believe that's the case. Reggie Chandler out on a whim to try and claim second spot now, ahead of George Greaves in that Birrell ART livery and chassis underneath. And look at the gap Giddings is building out now. It's almost up to around about half a second. Yeah, half a second. Reggie Chandler on the inside of George Greaves. Nice move and good racing up into the chicane before the bridge section. There, Vertigan almost losing out as well, it looks like, to Frank Morris, but Vertigan just holding on for now in this Waterswift grid. There's Reggie Chandler though. Right, it's happened already. It's happened again. Oh, red flag. We've had a red flag. Oh, it's red flag. Not too sure. Right, completely caught me by surprise, that one. But we've had a red flag. It means our drivers will stop the racing action and find their way round to the start-finish line, park up their carts there. And hopefully we'll be underway again soon. There was good battling going on there between Giddings then and Reggie Chandler. Reggie Chandler coming up from P5 into second position. Giddings up a place from the start, from P1. And we can see our marshals out on track then, stopping our drivers. And still trying to ascertain as to why we've had the red flag at the moment. But Giddings there just maintaining first spot. Back to the other runners there. So just hearing here for the stoppage, the red flag stoppage, due to a technical issue. So thankfully, the good news is that there's no one hurt out there, no one went off into the wall, and the reason for the red flags there. But we looks like we're going to, because the red flag came so soon, it was because of a technical issue, we're going to do a rerun from the top. So forget what happened just in the last few minutes. We were having some good racing. Reggie Chandler was making some good progress. I bet Reggie's happy. But we're going to be going again from our starting grids where we were before. Cody Vertigan then will reclaim pole position. I bet he won't mind that too much. Travis Giddings on the second grid slot, and Frank Morris in third. George Greaves is in fourth, who was running up in second just then. Reggie Chandler from fifth to do it all again. Max Frisbee, Oliver Kleinfelter, and Piran Brooks is at the back of the grid in eighth place. Keep your thoughts and thoughts and courts. What am I talking about? Thoughts and comments. There we go. Keep your thoughts and comments coming in to us on the Alpha Live YouTube channel, and our SlipStream members with us here live today. Thank you for everyone that is tuning in and taking advantage of your SlipStream membership to see how our finals come out in the end and who's going to take victory here at the Waterswift Interclass. And keep your thoughts coming on the racing action. We've got plenty of other finals this afternoon as well. We obviously will have our final at the moment for Waterswift Inters getting underway in just a second once again. But we'll also have our Junior Rotax B final coming up very, very soon. So they'll be here in not too long after we conclude our Waterswift race, which we will be starting again, going back to first proceedings. And then it will be on to our Junior X30s, Senior X30s, and Senior Rotax, and Junior Rotax drivers. Okay, so you can see our drivers going around. This is not the usual way that this happens, but it can happen sometimes. And what our drivers will be doing here, they're not currently racing, they're just on a formation lap once again, and now they're going to get some more heat into their tyres and start as you were from before. So we were going to have 10 minutes plus one lap, as we normally would for our finals in these classes, but as to the stoppage, and we've kind of already raced kind of 2, 3, 4 minutes, we're going to have an 8 minutes plus one lap race now. So race control making that decision for our drivers and runners out there, and you can see them just coming together right now. We'll be getting in formation. Hopefully everyone will be close together, and we'll get going for our Waterswift Inters once again. This isn't deja vu, but it kind of is. Here we go into the tram lines for the Waterswift Inter final, and we are away into the first turn, and Cody Vertigan this time keeps the lead. Oh, it looked like Giddings got very, very wide and almost caught up on the back of one of the drivers there, and it looks the same. Look, it looks like that was the case, because he's dropped right down now into 5th position off the front. Out front is Cody Vertigan. George Greaves is in 2nd place. Then you have Reggie Chandler already up into P3, ahead from P5. Now taking P2 in this race. So Reggie Chandler not wasting any time in this second instalment of your Waterswift Interclass. The kart running really well, and now Vertigan has got to be prepared, must know that the challenge from Reggie Chandler is coming his way imminently. Reggie Chandler has been very confident around this track all of this weekend, and particularly through the heats today, and we come across the line this time for the very first time. Vertigan wants to work together to pull away from the likes of Frank Morris there, and George Greaves on your screen. It was side by side going through the bridge section. Fantastic racing, but Frank Morris, I think, is going to just lose out there. And Giddings has found a way around the outside. And whilst they were too busy battling, Travis Giddings from second place on the grid recovers a bit of ground up to P3. George Greaves now down to P4 in this race. Our two front runners then, Chandler, Vertigan, followed by Giddings, Greaves, Frisbee, Morris, Kleinfelter and Piran Brooks at the tail of the field. You can see in the background there, coming through the Fullerton S's. Now, what do you think is going through Vertigan's mind now here, though? Vertigan knows what Chandler is capable of in the last few races. Would have seen it play out all along. And now has it all to do for another 5 minutes and 40 seconds with Reggie Chandler also setting the fastest lap of the race and putting the pace out there and making it count. And right on the back now of Vertigan, trying to keep that form of working together. Reggie Chandler half a tenth quicker than his rival in front of him of Cody Vertigan, coming towards the first hairpin there. Is there anything doing there? Reggie Chandler's got half a kart kind of up on the outside, but they stay as they are for now and come through out of the second hairpin towards the Fullerton S's once again. And towards the Mike Wilson complex, technical Mike Wilson complex. Travis Giddings, we wanting to try and recover up to these front two in a moment, but there's a second gap to the leader, almost about a 3/4 of a second gap between these guys here. You can see that visibly. Pointing once again is Vertigan. Feels like he needs to reassert that every single time they go across the start-finish line, because Chandler will be wanting, itching to get in front. Probably feels like he's got the pace, and he does, because he goes up the inside and takes the race lead from Cody Vertigan. And Cody, as a result of the disappointment that just happened, losing focus maybe, trying to get back on the tail of Reggie Chandler, gets out wide, out of Litchfield Bridge. But now Chandler in control of this race. But as we've just seen, just because you're leading the race does not mean it is done yet. 4 minutes and a lap to go. It's a long time to keep all of this grid at bay. And Giddings now, who gets a bit of a tank slapper on that curb through the Fullerton S's, won't want to have that again and lose too much grip from his intercar underneath him. Is being sort of let back into this battle here. Chandler, who did kind of have the pace, looks like he's not really pulling away once getting past Cody Vertigan. And here we are then, with Frank Morris setting the fastest lap down in P5. They are touching bumpers all the way through that first section and into the bowl chicane here. And where it was Vertigan sort of breaking away with Chandler, it's now sort of become a 4-horse race, and all of their karts are coming towards them now. Giddings behind in P3. And Frank Morris also in P4 wants a piece of the action as well. Giddings signalling ahead towards these two that they want to chase down after Vertigan, after Chandler. Chandler looking composed out front of this one, ahead of Cody Vertigan. And Frank Morris going up the inside of Giddings. Is that going to make it stick? Because he made it work. No, he backed out of that one. Didn't want to be clashing too much there with 2 minutes and 40 on the clock and another lap to it. Well, with Reggie Chandler though, getting out really wide on that start-finish straight in the final corner. Vertigan will be wanting to make sure that he tries to capitalise into the bowl here. Anything doing? No. And look at these four now though, as a result of Reggie Chandler. They are right backed up into each other. Frank Morris into third place though, ahead of Travis Giddings. Frank Morris now in the podium position to possibly try and be part of this front battle. So Reggie Chandler was looking racy, but now you'd argue that 3, 4 karts, 5 karts behind have all got a chance of posing a threat to Reggie Chandler at the front of the field at the moment. So it's Chandler, Vertigan, Morris, Giddings at the back of your shot there, followed by Frisbee, Kleinfelter, Greaves and Brooks towards the back of this small but competitive Waterswift into field, coming through the final few corners and making their way onto the start-finish. Minute and a half, the clock is ticking down all the time. Reggie Chandler taking the start-finish line timing once again, and Cody Vertigan within a tenth or less of that, right behind. Frank Morris also on their tail, waiting for a mistake between these two at the front. Giddings also there to capitalise if this goes south in the next minute or so as these scrap. And there you go, Vertigan up the inside, who's regained some of his pace, which had equalised with Chandler up to that point, is now back into the race lead. Does he prefer being the hunter or the hunted? We will wait and see how it comes out in a couple of laps' time. So Vertigan, confirmed on your screen there, is your race leader. Chandler, followed by Morris. Giddings behind in the number 144. Behind that we have Max Frisbee, Kleinfelter, Greaves, Brooks. 30 seconds plus 1 lap. This is the penultimate lap here of your Waterswift Inter final. Is Reggie Chandler going to wait to the final lap, or is he going to get the move done earlier and make sure he's got it in the bag, secure it, drive away from the field? Didn't look like Reggie Chandler had the pace to break away from Vertigan in this stage of the race, so maybe he's leaving it as late as he possibly dares to take advantage of this race and into the final corner, maybe surprise Vertigan with a move. Vertigan going very defensive, as you might expect, into the second hairpin. Reggie Chandler's got a lot of heat from Morris behind as well. Into the Fullerton S's we go. We're looking pretty composed. I say that Giddings gets out wide again on the curves, loses a bit more time to Frank Morris in front. These three pulling away as much as they can. Reggie Chandler, has he just been calm for the last lap or so, trying to save the tyres, or has he been going flat out? We'll find out how it's going to come out and result at the end of this race. Final lap board is out and Vertigan is out at the front of the lead ahead of Reggie Chandler. Frank Morris is also in on this one. Can Frank Morris force any issue between these two drivers? And to the lead goes Reggie Chandler up the inside of the bowl section. But now he's got to contend as he comes down into the first hairpin. Vertigan all over the back, almost doing the braking for him. But how late do you brake? How early do you brake? How safe do you play it here when there's not much left on the table? Frank Morris to the inside takes P2 on Reggie Chandler and has that, Vertigan. So has that secured first place for Reggie Chandler at the back. Oh, and they're coming together between Giddings there for P4, and also I believe that might have been Vertigan got caught up in that. Frank Morris is in second right now with Kleinfelter up onto the podium. Where has Kleinfelter come from? From P6 up to the podium is Reggie Chandler, Frank Morris and Kleinfelter, your top three, with Max Frisbee, George Greaves, Travis Giddings, and look at where Giddings ended up. Look at where Cody Vertigan ended up in P7 as well. That completely turned on its head in that race. But Reggie Chandler made that decisive move up the inside into the bowl section and takes victory here in this Waterswift Inter final. Piran Brooks towards the back, Vertigan also, Kleinfelter with the TWM team, Reggie Chandler privateer, Frank Morris with the S8 racing team. Saw their Ortning in the paddock earlier on today, working on the car, and nearly paying off for Frank Morris. But it is the crown of Reggie Chandler's today, who was up 4 places in that race there. All right, it's not quite the final of Junior Rotax, but there's more places up for grabs. And here we are. So the Junior Rotax B final is what we're getting on to next. And once again, 4 more places up for grabs to go into our final Junior Rotax, well, battles for this afternoon, and take home the crown for round 2 of this club championship at Trent Valley here at PF International in Lincolnshire. My name is Jake Beach, bringing you coverage and commentary of all of the racing action here today. And thank you for all of your comments so far on the live stream. You can keep your comments coming in about the drivers you want to see me doing well, want to pass on. Send your well wishes, send your support here at Trent Valley as they warm up their tyres the best they can and get into a good position for this one. Let me run you through the grid then for our runners in this B final. Devin Taylor starts on pole, followed by Jacob Aston. Thomas Jackson, James Fabricius is in P4. Then James Tate, Jaden Payne, Jamie Riches, Oliver Peters, Miles Burton and Benjamin Lawn in Coles Racing. Benjamin want to be improving a little bit further up from a positive performance earlier on in the races today. Joe Neal and Samir Paul on row 7. Lydia McLaughlin and Joshua Robertson on row 8, Fletcher Jameson and Stanley Stafford up to row 9, and on row 10 it's Nathaniel Gray and Max Douthwaite up to P20. So here we go then for this next chance to get into the Junior Rotax final later on today, and into the lead is a close battle between them both at the front, but I think it just about held on to the lead, Devin Taylor. So just seeing them come over the bridge. It's all changing though as we go out of Litchfield, and I believe it's all kind of changed a little bit. That's the 291 there. You've got the also the 188. There's been lots of changes then with our runners here right now, and lots of different runners. More battles up the inside there. Our 46 runner coming through. Of Ellis Bell and Shay Hilton. Sorry, just trying to gain my bearings of all of the drivers in this one. And I do believe some of the grid that I read to you was slightly inaccurate, so apologies for that. I'm not sure as to why that was different from what I was given, but I will now take you through the actual drivers and people in this race. Ellis Bell, Shay Hilton, James Fabricius and Devin Taylor and Jamie Riches lead Jacob Ashton and Miles Burton, Thomas Jackson and Fletcher Jameson to Oliver Peters down to P10. And Ellis Bell then for the RCE team, the Ultimate R team rather, out in front. Had some great performances earlier on in the weekend with teammate Matty Hinchley in the senior Rotax as well, doing some great stuff out there across this whole PF International circuit. And Ellis Bell then, Shay Hilton out into the lead. Shay Hilton was in the lead for a little while and has dropped back slightly now. It's a nice dive and a move up the inside there from Jacob Aston on Jamie Riches into P4. God, gets well out of shape there and tries to catch his car. That allows the Kato Motorsport machine to come on through and try and pick up the pieces of where that was left off. Miles Burton up into P5, Thomas Jackson into P7, and seeing their progress being made here. Through the field, leading the way then, Ellis Bell, followed by Hilton, Taylor, Aston and Burton. Down to Jamie Riches, Thomas Jackson, the Fastest lap of the race to Stanley Stafford, who unfortunately went out of some of our previous action earlier on. The 243 you should be watching out for Hunter Motorsport, up 4 places, started 18th in this one. On your screen right now is the battle between P4, 5 and 6 of Burton, Aston and Riches out there. Miles Burton on your screen right there, seeing he's heading towards the Fulton S's with maximum concentration. Ellis Bell, Shea Hilton and Devin Taylor almost breaking away now as a front 3, then gapping behind to P4. And almost Miles a little bit on his own because he's built a bit of a buffer behind, but also a bit of a buffer out in front to close down to Bell, Hilton and Taylor. On your screen right there, 219 of Aston, Jackson and Fletcher Jameson, who started way back in the clutches of the grids towards the back of lots of grids today in the junior Rotax races. And in this one, he's made 10 places up already from starting P17. So P17 for Fletcher Jameson for Jax Motorsport becomes P7 at the moment in this race. So impressive performance from Fletcher Jameson. Very vital progress made in those earlier heats and wanting to capitalise on all of those here. And let's see how far Fletcher Jameson can get in this race. Can he compete with the pace out front and getting through some of the traffic as well? You saw Jacob Aston though, for the meanwhile, chasing down Miles Burton for 4th and 5th places. Coming across the bridge there, Miles leading this group. You can see there then the 96 of Fletcher Jameson right in this mix now, and goes up the inside of Jacob Aston, who got out a bit wide there and takes advantage of that, although he gets passed right back through by Thomas Jackson. So Thomas Jackson coming straight back through for Craft Motorsport, and Fletcher Jameson has got more work to do, once again losing out to that scrap with Thomas Jackson a little bit behind. Now also got Jacob Aston in front as well, in between the two of them. Ellis Bell, Shea Hilton, Devin Taylor come across the line in 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Half a second gap between Ellis Bell for the Ultimate R team and Shea Hilton to Devin Taylor, Burton, Jackson, Aston, Fletcher Jameson. Peters now into P8. Stanley Stafford, great race from him so far. From 18th on the grids to P9. So Stanley Stafford making some great moves out there at the moment. This is a battle between your runners for Devin Taylor and Shea Hilton getting involved in between the two of them there, coming into the Fullerton S's and the Mike Wilson complex. And trying to keep everything all in line, coming through our 3rd sector for that time and across the line, and that gap is absolutely minimal, as you can see, between our 2nd and 3rd place runners, and letting Ellis Bell now go out into lead with 50 seconds plus 1 lap into the conclusion of this B final. The top 4 in this race go on through to the next stage of proceedings in the junior Rotax weekend. So how is this all unfolding here? Miles Burton is your 4th place man, you just saw on screen there. And back at the front with Shea Hilton getting all so close with Devin Taylor there. It looks like Miles Burton is going to hold on to this 4th place with what looks like there might be 2 laps to go here around the PF International Circuit on a overcast but settled now Sunday afternoon for the latest round of the Trent Valley Kart Club Championship. Mechanical failure for Oliver Peters, going to have to come into the pits, unfortunately, the number 165, who's running in 9th place at the moment. So that'll give Ethan Guest a free place, and also Stanley Stafford will have the pressure relieved from him in that position. Look at these two though, here on board with Shea Hilton and Devin Taylor. They've got Miles Burton for company. They want to be so careful because they might give up this treasured 4th place for the hard work they've done over the last few laps. Fletcher Jameson right on the case in all of this because he's had a great recovery drive and he is up into P4. So Fletcher Jameson in this group here, Devin Taylor leading them away, and now look at the gap that P1 has got. Ellis Bell onto the final lap, 2.2 seconds, and it's all to play for between second, third and fourth. Is Shea Hilton in a position to challenge Fletcher Jameson for that final 4th spot? Let's find out as we make our way round the final few corners here at PF International. These front three very happy to sit where they are. I say that. Fletcher Jameson goes to P2. And just like that, when you think it's all fine and dandy and comfortable, you change the complexion of the race once more. James Fabricius, 5-second penalty for James further down the field, but we're focusing on the concluding stages here of our junior Rotax runners. Who's going to make it through into the final for later on this afternoon? Ellis Bell certainly is. He takes victory from Fletcher Jameson, Devin Taylor and Thomas Jackson. Shea Hilton just misses out on the coveted 4th place in this B final. You see the checker flag being waved on the gantry to bring proceedings to a halt. Further down the order, Miles Burton ended up finishing P6 down from P4 in that race. Jacob Aston, P7. Stanley Stafford, good recovery up to P8. Ethan Guest in P9 in the top 10. And Benjamin Lawn rounding off your top 10 for Coles Racing. So our drivers will go through into those top 4 drivers you see on your screen there. Will go through into the final of junior Rotax later on, and because of the sheer number of drivers we've had in junior Rotax today, that's why we need to have some C finals. They're called C finals, B finals, you might know them as a repechage as well, and giving people more of a chance to fight to have their place at the back of the grid. Alright, as we got one straggle of a kart trying to make its way back, I think, towards the pits and Parc Fermé, we will get ready for our next final. And here we are then for Junior X30 and into the final here. We will be getting underway with the action in just a second or two. But I've been joined in the commentary box by a guest commentator for this one. And it's great to have you here. Hello.
Hello. It's obviously really great to commentate around here. And I've obviously raced here. I'm doing the Junior Rotax. Yeah, thank you.
Great. So what's your name?
John Richardson. I do the...
John. Yes, we were catching you in the earlier races today. You certainly seemed like you were up in the mix for a lot of the action, sort of in the top 5, I believe, and sort of on the fringes of that. But unfortunately not to see you out there.
No, for Kart Masters though, I'm doing it, so I'm looking forward to that.
Great. And we're just trying to get your mic sorted so that I can hear you properly, because I'm not hearing you all too well. But there we go. We'll get on to, whilst we sort your mic out, John, we will go through the grid for the Junior X30 final. Alfie Brown is going to start us off on pole position. Nathaniel Hodges is P2 with Zach Shampney, Jacob Marples even, Charlie Blenkinsop, Finley Allen, Henry Clark, Katie Donaldson, who had that coming together with Milan Tomlinson in a couple of those races in the heats. Enzo Battarazzi, Barney Copley, followed by Izzy Wykes as well on row 6, Katie Clark, Ayrton Lima Evans, Milan Tomlinson, Jacob Nairn, Archie Lee Bullock, Jack Wish, Matthew Lederer, and Alfie Taylor is going to lead us around for the 20 drivers making up our final. So what's it been like out there? It's looking on our live chat at the moment. It's been fairly exciting to see all of our drivers out there, and I think we've got you now, John.
Yeah, that's good.
There we go. That's much better. All right, so thanks for joining us in the commentary box. We're in the Junior X30 final. What can we expect?
Absolute chaos and really good racing, I'd obviously expect. I've raced in this class before. It's a little bit of a fun round around here. I've nearly won. I came in this category. I've came third in the final when I maybe should have won it, but it was a very good race. And I did race the pole man there, the number 95 of Alfie Brown. He's been the one, well, he's been the head man pretty much so far of these heats. He won both of them, qualied on pole. Is he going to add the A final to his collection of wins this weekend? Rounding out the final corner we go. A very slow start there, slower than the George Edgar start. Into the tram lines we go. When are we going to go green? Lights are now out. We're off and racing. It's Alfie Brown that leads us into turn number 1. Following closely behind him is his teammate of the 61 of Zach Champney. So it's a good start there from the odd side of the grid as we see the rest of the midfield all jockeying for position. Onto the Litchfield Bridge we go. It's Alfie Brown that leads us out of the next corner there. As into hairpin number 1 we go. It's Brown leads, Champney behind him, and Milan Tomlinson completes the top 3. So it's a very good start there though from Brown. He's looking to try and get away. Yeah,
Alfie Brown doing what he has done best in the last couple of races and laying down the marker very early. He's always been given like lots of opportunity by what's been going on behind him. I feel like he's been very lucky in that instance. And when you are a driver in that position at the front of the field and you're almost gifted that kind of space, you lap it up, don't you?
Yeah, but he's also one of the most experienced drivers on this grid. He's obviously one of the front runners here when all of the British Champs drivers are here. As we now look at the battle for second place, it's Nathaniel Hodges going to look for the inside. Down the inside he goes. Does he get the move completed? Yes, he does. That was a crucial move there. It's down the inside goes Charlie Blenkinslop. Where's he come from? He's having a brilliant race out here, fighting for his first podium in the Junior X30 category. Here comes Blenkinslop. Down the inside he goes. This is absolutely great battling for second. But this is absolutely great for Alfie Brown, who started to disappear off into the distance. And I can't believe my eyes right now because I'm seeing Charlie Blenkinslop in second place. I'm pretty impressed there with Charlie. He's doing an absolutely fantastic race right now. As we're now watching the battle for second place headed by Charlie Blenkinslop. As there's a little bit of a nudging there through the infield section we go. Now rounding out the last corner, it's Alfie Brown from Charlie Blenkinslop that complete the top 2.
Yeah, and he's up from P5 at the start of this race, and he's kind of just been keeping his wits about him in the previous sessions in this X30 class. And, well, as you say, it's an incredibly professional and impressive start out there for this Junior X30 final here at PF International. How is this comparing to your class then at the moment, the racing you're seeing today?
A lot more calmer is what I'm going to say. I think that's the best word to use, calmer. But it's been a very impressive race so far. This is probably the best race for Alfie Brown because he, in most of the heats, he got away at the start, then got reeled back in, but successfully defended. Here, he's got a very big gap, nearly 2 seconds. It's 1.5 as it stands. So it's going to be interesting to see what Blenkinslop does as per of lap times. As now rounding out the final corner we go onto the home straight. It's Alfie Brown that leads, Blenkinslop in second. The gap has stayed relatively the same. Now is the number 61 of Zach Champney going to go in and move on Blenkinslop. The gap has stayed relatively the same between this top 4. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Biro ART driver does as he now looks for the move. Down the inside goes Cammie. A good move there from the Biro driver. Promotes himself up into second place.
Yeah, nice move from Zach Shankly, who's again in sort of the P5, P6 places in previous races today. Junior X30. Blenkinsop wasting no time. Cammie wasting no time. However, Alfie Brown, as they waste a little bit of time getting past each other, is soaring out into the lead. 1.8 second gap now, fastest lap of the race goes to Millen Tomlinson as well. Earlier in this class, John, we saw Millen Tomlinson, unfortunately, and Katie Donaldson getting a bit caught up into these couple of the sections. In actually both races, they were just sort of caught up with each other, and hopefully it's going to come out a little bit better for Katie Donaldson, but obviously both to Millen Tomlinson as well, sitting in P7 right now, just a bit shy of 4 seconds off of the lead. Lots of work to do there.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on Millen Tomlinson. He's been a very quick driver, so it's going to be very interesting when he catches up to this battle for second place. As I think just off camera there, the number 93 of Nathaniel Hodges, he's a driver who we normally don't see at the front of the field. He's there in third place. Blenkinsop starting to fade a little bit there as Cammie and Hodges are starting to keep up with each other. So it's going to be interesting if they can catch up to Alfie Brown, who has completely disappeared right now. It's 1.5 second gap as it stands through the infield section. We go rounding out the last corner. Now onto the start-finish straight. Alfie Brown deploys the human DRS. 1.24 seconds is the gap. It's slowly going down. Can Cammie bring it down? He's a driver who I'd say has improved a lot this season. He's obviously new to the category of Junior X30. He raced in the Waterswift, I believe it was last year. He really showed good pace in that, and he's really demonstrating it right now. Now, 4 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. It's going to be interesting though with the sector times. That time round, Cammie was 2/10 quicker that time round, so maybe Alfie Brown has higher pressures, and maybe Cammie has got the lower pressures. So it's going to be interesting if Cammie can reel that gap in as we go through the infield section. Now it's going to be interesting to see what the final gap is, rounding out the last corner. What's the gap this time round? Brown does a 57.6. Now it's 1 second. It's going to be very interesting of when he will catch.
And when you hear me talking about this a lot on commentary, when you've set your kart up for the kart to come towards you more in the race and have better pace towards the end of the race, what do we mean by that, John?
Well, it obviously depends on driver setup, and obviously when it happens at the start of the race, when the kart's good, the kart will feel responsive, it'll feel quick, but will degrade a little bit near towards the end. But it's usually with the tyre pressures, and if you set them lower, the kart won't turn on as quick, so you'll have a little bit less grip for the start. But near towards the end, the car will feel good. So if you're a mechanic, you want to try and look for the perfect balance where it's good at the start, good at the end, and good in the middle.
And it's going to look good for Zach Cammie here, who is closing this gap down all the more. We're down to 9/10 of a second. I feel like Alfie Brown has responded a little bit in the last lap, but all the more actually down to 8.5 How possible is this for Zach Cammie with 3 minutes and a lap to go to come on through and claim this? And you're also saying you're very impressed with Nathaniel Hodges up there as well. Enzo Materazzi with the fastest lap of the race at the moment, also doing a great job. They're all fairly close together at the moment. Blenkinsop also in on this. A dive down the inside. Whoa. We can see there from Nathaniel Hodges to P2 then, who takes a little bit of time to get towards Alfie Brown, but using some of that time to get into second place because he wants to win the race. Nathaniel Hodges to second place.
Yeah, but they don't really need to start battling now. This is when they need to find who is the quicker driver amongst these two, because if they keep on squabbling, Alfie Brown is going to start to disappear. As now we go on 2 minutes. We're now entering the closing stages of this race. It's still Alfie Brown that leads. What's the gap now? 6/10. And as the gap gets closer, the driver behind Alfie Brown is mentally going to go quicker. Physically, he's going to go quicker. So it's going to be interesting to see what Cammie does. Because Cammie, if I was in his position, should just push Nathaniel Hodges, and Hodges is another driver I've been really impressed with. He was another promotee driver from the Waterswift category. He was absolutely rapping in the Waterswift as a privateer, racing on the Charles Leclerc chassis, I believe, which is a Biro ART product. There's obviously 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. The gap is now half a second, and I'm really impressed with how well they've caught up this gap. It was nearly 2 seconds on lap number 1, and now nearing the end of this race, 1 minute and 15 seconds, and I think he's nearly caught him. It's now 3 tenths.
It's basically anyone's game now in that front 4, and just quickly, John, when you're in this position like Alfie Brown's, to try and be out in the lead and be as stubborn as possible but not jeopardise your race by going too defensive too early, what were you thinking in this situation?
Probably be a little bit annoyed. He had a absolutely country mile of a gap, and now he's being absolutely reeled in, but I think he'll know that he has been caught. Obviously the mechanics will be conveying him hand signals. Yeah, a little bit wide there from the number 93. But here comes Hodges. When is Nathaniel Hodges going to try and look for the move for first place? Now through the infield section we go. Through sector 3, the car is starting to look a little bit swabbly there for the number 94 of Alfie Brown. So maybe hinting that his pressures were really high. Now we're on the penultimate lap of the race. Enzo Buttaranti does a really quick lap time there, 56.98. Is Brown going to defend? Brown looks for the inside line, defends that successfully. Is Hodges going to look through a move for the Litchfield Bridge, named after Mark Litchfield? Oh, what a move there! Through goes Enzo Buttaranti. They need to organise themselves so they can't let Brown get away here. This is what Brown would absolutely love. Oh, there's a little bit of a mistake for Buttaranti. Buttaranti gets himself into second place. Now he's the one leading this charge to catch up to Brown, but Brown slowly pulling away.
Yeah, he needs to make sure that he keeps it all in the right direction and doesn't make any mistakes, doesn't look over his shoulder too much, focuses on the road ahead. Alfie Brown is going to come around the final few corners for the penultimate time before we head on to our final lap here. Who is going to take victory in this Junior X30 final? Buttaranti is being put on the pressure now. He is the front guard of this chasing pack. Nathaniel Hodges, Zach Shampney, still all in this, to be honest with you. Blenkinsop has dropped back slightly now between Millen Tomlinson and Finley Allen. Alfie Brown looks like he's got a good run off the bridge, but also Enzo Buttaranti has as well, looking over his shoulder. Nathaniel Hodges wants a piece of the action here. Who goes for it? At what time do they go in for it here? They're the second hairpin. Are they going to go for it? Oh, nothing doing. There's space on the inside though. Alfie Brown has let him in. Brown looks like he's won it according to John Richardson, but is it all going to come out in the wash as they expected? Alfie Brown has now got a half a second gap almost from that action battling behind. That's what you were worrying about, John, and Alfie Brown is going to come through the final few corners here. The checkered flag is out. It is going to be waving proudly for Alfie Brown with a supremely controlled race. Takes the Junior X30 crown here at PF International this weekend for round 2, and an impressive display out there. John, do you think?
I'm a little bit disappointed he didn't celebrate. I was expecting a good celebration there from Mr. Alfie.
Yeah, no, it was probably just a big sigh of relief from what he just put up and sort of absorbed there. But you were impressed with Enzo Buttaranti and Nathaniel Hodges in that race as well? Yeah,
there's a lot of drivers that when the British Champ Grid are here, and this is in no disrespect to them in whatsoever, they're normally not racing at the front. But when the British Champs has happened at Wilton Mill, which I believe Jake Fluitt won that race, it really just show how well they can perform, and especially Alfie Brown, he's a really quick driver, and they caught up to him in that race time. So it's good to see that the drivers who were in the Waterswift category last year are now competing for podiums. And Enzo Buttaranti, I believe this is his first podium in the Junior X30 category. Same with Champney. It's a bit disappointing though for Nathaniel Hodges. He came very close to the podium, came home in 4th, but I believe with this weekend he has learned lots. I believe he's learned absolutely lots of how to race at the front.
Yeah, and it's been a name, like you said, we've been seeing in previous categories in previous times, and well, a fantastic win there for Alfie Brown out of the front. And the interesting thing we're talking about with the the British kart championships and people that you regard in that sense is that, you know, someone can have a performance like Butterazzi or Champney or whatever, and in this championship, but we start thinking about them in the same sort of similar guise. If they put in 2 or 3 good performances, we like start thinking of them as the front runners. So it can quickly change, can't it? On its head.
Yeah, it's a confidence game, obviously, and I remember once it was just trying to get my mind working here. The I'm not sure the exact name of it, but it was like the Winter Warmer Cup, I remember here, and that was probably the race that really, really, well, I think changed me as a driver. I started 30th, not on pure pace, obviously. I got taken out in one of the heats, which demoted me that far down, and I started 30th in that race and came third. A little bit of luck involved there with some incidences here and there, but that gave me the confidence to continue that, and it really has propelled me forward in the rest of the year so far, and that's probably going to happen to the likes of Alfie Brown and Nathaniel Hodges and the rest of the drivers on the podium. But it's going to be interesting to see how the seniors get on now.
Yeah, let's get on to our senior X30 final for this afternoon. All right then, here we go into our senior X30. John, you sticking around?
If the producer's happy.
Are you happy for him to stick around? Yeah, he's quite good, isn't he? He's not too bad. He's not too bad. Fantastic to have you here. And in just a quick brief before we go into our senior X30, tell me about the confidence you have in your class at the moment and the competitors you have in it.
Well, the drivers were a lot more different than they were in the round one. Obviously, you've got lots of good drivers now. You've got the likes of, obviously, Charlie Wolfit, Zach Turner, who, he pitted in the B final. I'm not sure the reasons behind that. Fletcher Jameson, he's another really quick driver. And you've got loads of other quick drivers that I've not listed. So it's going to be, interesting from where I start. I'm not starting too impressively due to an incident I had in one of the heats, but that's all been dealt with accordingly at the stewards' room. So it's going to be interesting to see, though, this race.
Yes.
Especially because I do like the senior X30s.
The senior X30, yes. Alex Wiley up on pole position for MDL, who had a great performance in one of our heats earlier on for senior X30. Hayden Eldridge as well. Dorian Malik, they were right up there as well. Dominic Parabok and Emma Downing. Alistair Cresswell, James Harris, Aaron Lask, Reese Newburn, Archie Cole, Ethan Woodward, Lucas Blanford, who was starting right at the back of the grids, has found his way up to P12s and made some progress. Let's see what he can do from that position in the middle of the pack. Oliver Meek, Katie Ashman, Josh Jones, Sam Horton, Charlie Philp, Noah Sales, Bailey Brooker, Oscar Cole, Ethan Higgins, Isaac Marsh, Bradley Heath, and Pitor Juvek is P24 for all of our runners.
I'll definitely keep an eye, though, on Lucas Blanford. This is not a class he's much used to, but I'm not sure if this is 100% true. I haven't checked the recent lap record for the senior XO, but I believe he's got very close, or he may have broken that lap record. I'm not obviously 100% certain on that, but I know he's got very close to it.
He's got pace.
Yeah, he's got, he's definitely got pace from starting last. He's been an absolute rocket ship here. As we now go into the tram lines, it's going to be a MDL on pole position. Lights are out. We're off and racing. It's Alex Wiley that leads us into turn number 1. A good start there for your front row. It stays Wiley and Eldridge on the front 2 positions. As we now go on to the Litchfield Bridge, as it seems that Eldridge has now got past.
Retaken.
Yeah, I think Eldridge has just overtaken Wiley off camera as Parabol tries to look for 3rd place. That was a pretty, there's a really late
Malik,
break in there.
Where's he off to?
Really late break in there for
It's Dorian
Malik.
Malik, getting out a bit wide and trying to recover now. And Eldridge at the front of the field then. Alex Wiley looked like had that one in the bag, but proves not.
Well, we're going to see, though. We thought out of Alfie Brown and, it nearly ended bad for Alfie there, but he took the win in the end of that. Rounding out the final few corners, we go on to the last corner. On the now home straights, Hayden Eldridge, that leads us by a second already on lap number 1. Dorian Malek in 3rd, Dominic Parabok 4th, and Aaron Lask in 5th. It's going to be interesting. Are we going to see a repeat of the Junior X30 final where Eldridge, well, Alfie Brown had a huge lead and they caught him up? Are we going to see this with Alex Wiley? Down the inside goes Dorian Malik. He takes second place. They don't need to fight overly that much. What a switchback there from Alex Wiley. That's very impressive. You don't see switchbacks there through the exit of hairpin number 1. Now into the chicane we go, completing sector number 2. It's going to be interesting to see what the gap is after this second lap.
Yeah, it's Eldridge building out a huge gap at the moment. Oh, and Malik, they're going to get caught up there with the runner behind of Dominic Parabok, and there's the gap there for you. I mean, after 1 lap or so, that's pretty sizable. 1.2 seconds back to Alex Wiley. Dorian Malek, Lask and Parabok down to P5, but we also saw from Alex Wiley in the earlier races, John, that Alex Wiley has definitely got it within him to come on back and come back through the field.
Yeah, most certainly, but now he has a different challenge ahead of him. Now he's got to catch up to the number 33 of Hayden Eldridge. And I thought Eldridge would be doing the British Kart Championship, but I guess he's not doing it here. I guess he's trying to compete for the win at PFI.
But he's at that level, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, sorry.
Yeah, Hayden Eldridge definitely out front, showing why he deserves to be the class of this field. Lask, Dowling, where's Lucas Blanford? Well, he started P12, he's now 8th, he's up 4 places, and funny enough, he's got the fastest lap of the race, although Aaron Lask then takes that away from him for a 56.5 through here.
Yeah, and I was just looking at those lap times. He was half a second quicker than the rest of the field on that 1 lap. So it's going to be interesting to see if Blanford can catch up. And he's a very quick driver indeed. You've got to say that for Lucas. And it's going to be a matter of time of when he catches up.
Could he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Could he do it?
Yeah, I believe he can. Maybe he may not catch up to Eldridge, but I think he will be. I'm going to do a prediction. He will be on the podium.
Wow. Okay, you've said it now. Let's see what happens in 6 minutes and 19 seconds plus 1 lap. We've seen many a Herculean comeback and a fight through many fields in lots of races. Lucas Blanford then also making up another place on that lap. He's now in P7. He's 2.6 seconds off the lead. And actually, if you look at it like that and the progress and the pace he has been making, 2.6 seconds is a lot, but not a lot.
No, especially he's catching, passing. He has the momentum on his side. Now he's behind the number 193 of Aaron Lask. Down the inside goes Lucas Blanford. That's a good move there from Lucas. Now he's got the number 74 of Dominic Parabok to catch up, and this is the pace of Lucas Blanford. I can't believe it. He is so quick compared to the rest of the field, and sure, he may not have the fastest lap of the race.
P5 now.
Yeah, he's now up to 5th, but even though he doesn't have the fastest lap of the race, I think he is the quickest driver out there. Disregarding the fastest lap, obviously, as we now enter halfway race distance.
Yeah, halfway distance, and if Lucas has been making the same progress as he has in half the race, where is he going to end up by the end of this one? 3 seconds off the lead is Lucas Blanford. Hayden Eldridge out front with a 7/10 gap back to second place man. Alex Wiley with the fastest lap of the race. At the moment, you see on your screen there. First, second, third, back to Dorian Malek. Parabok in 4th, and back to P5 for Lucas Blanford. It's come together. We don't want to see that. That is not too nice to see at all.
It's a very unexpected incident.
37, Reece Newburn all trying to break and find their way into there. Reece Newburn involved. Meek also as well.
I think Emma Dowling was involved in that as well.
Yeah, there's obviously yellow flags out.
Yeah, that's the number 195. That's Alex Wiley. Wiley's wheels just came off. I've just seen it.
This is... Well, it's all unfolding in front of our eyes here, and it looks like as a result of
be a
certain moves. Maybe. Yeah, we will see if the slow ball comes out, if this race will be neutralised, but we are still racing at full speed, apart from the yellow flags in the sections of tracks that we've got the carts being pulled off to one side.
Battenberg just came up the slow board.
And the slow board is out, yeah. So the race then has been neutralised. It's effectively what we would know in Formula 1 as a safety car, or that kind of process. They will run one by one. Our main marshal on the gantry in front of the commentary box here is waving yellow flag to tell all the drivers to slow on down. And the key thing about the slow board, John, particularly in a Senior X30 in a final, is that the time doesn't stop.
No.
So the clock keeps on ticking down. Great news for Hayden Eldridge, of course, who's going to lose this gap that he's built. Dorian Malik got up into P2, and look at where Blanford is.
Yeah, third. But
P3 on the podium, like you said.
I bet you that slowboard has helped him so much because, look, as we see there, he was 2.5 seconds behind. No, not 2.15 seconds behind Hayden Eldridge. Now it's only going to be a few tenths.
Well, if that.
Yeah, maybe not even that. So that slowboard has absolutely assisted Lucas Blanford there massively. And well, it's going to be depending, though, on how slow Hayden Eldridge is going to go, because he wants this race to be as slow as possible to get that time to be near enough zero, pretty much.
Yeah, because he wants to come across the line with less work to do, less of a chance for Malik, Blanford, Parabok now, and this race completely changes complexion now, particularly when you've had the pace of someone like Blanford on the charge, who proves that he can match and then some the pace of our front runner of Eldridge and Malik ahead. But oh goodness, how many times have you had this similar situation where you've had to sort of really think about in these stages of the races?
Occasionally, I would say. I'm not really the well, it's not me calling me a bad driver, but I've normally not been at the front head of the field when the slowboard comes up. So I can't really comment exactly on that, but if I had to make an assumption, I'd definitely say it's going to be a matter of what your engineer tells you, mechanic tells you, and obviously how you manage this, because you want to be going as slow as you possibly could if you're the leader to reduce the work for the remaining laps. And well, Hayden Eldridge can do whatever he wants to the front, obviously not go too quick, but he can go as slow as he wants.
But also you take a massive risk there, don't you? You back Eldridge into... You back Malik into Blanford, or you try and use all the drivers around. You've got Parabok, they're all jumped up now. You've got Cresswell. You won't have a front 1 or 2 anymore. You will have a front 5, 6, 7 possibly. We've got Meek Sales, Katie Ashman down in P9, Josh Jones as well. In all of this, that was Sam Halton then out with Reese Newburn. Further down, you can see the carts off to one side. Are we going racing?
Yes,
we are going racing. We've got a minute and 1 lap to go. So it looks like we're going to have around about possibly 2 laps, maybe 3. It all depends on how it all irons out here. Hayden Eldridge, followed by Dorian Malik. Right at the back, Dorian Malik not wasting any time to get involved there. And Lucas Blanford, if you're him right here, don't you just watch for the lap here. As long as you've not got too much pressure behind, you just wait and see what happens. Dorian Malik taking a wide line, because that what happens to Blanford. He comes on through for P2. Doesn't want to get too wide out there. Blanford needs to be careful. Oh! Blanford's round. He just about saves the cart. But Blanford's progress has been hampered there with Parabok, with Lask, with Meek, all involved coming through there. And that instantly, once again, has completely changed everything. And Blanford's got it all to do.
Yeah, and I think Blanford's out of the podium equation here. But this has absolutely helped Hayden Eldridge. Eldridge, who, well... He was very under much threat through sector number 2. He now has a 9/10 lead to Dominic Parabok, who he's looking for a first podium here at PFI. Aaron Lask is looking for that second place against Parabok, maybe even Oliver Meek. Oliver Meek, who has been really quick through the practice sessions. He had a really bad qualifying session and struggled in the knees. This is getting close. Oh, that's nearly.
What a move from Aaron Lask.
Through goes Meek into 3rd place. Is he going to try and look for 2nd? Parabok down the inside of Meek. Can he get the move completed? From the outside goes Meek. Keeps 3rd place. That's a good move there from Meek. Is he now going to be able to catch up to the 193 of Aaron Lask in 2nd place? But Eldridge has completely gone. I believe he's now won this race with 1.5 second lead. Now, who is going to take 2nd, 3rd and 4th?
Yeah, it's all to do on this final lap then. Eldridge, 1.5 seconds, but now down to P2, P3, Lask, Meek, Parabok, Malik, Cresswell. Who's that diving down the inside, trying to make a move? It looked like Blanford was trying to recover some pace from his earlier skirmishes further down the grid. Coming off the Litchfield Bridge, you've got Lask going defensive on the inside. Meek, he's trying to signal to say, look, work together, let's get after him. But it almost feels like, as you said, John, it might be a bit too late to do all of that. Lucas Blanford up into P5 now as we come through the latest timings. Out in this fight here between second and third, it's all mightily close. Aaron Lask, Oliver Meek, who's going to take the crown? I think we know who's going to win the race, that's for sure. Coming through the Mike Wilson complex for the final time. Coming through these final few corners, the checkered flag waves. He's staved off any threat from behind, and look at the 2.5 second gap that he has achieved. Hayden Eldridge takes victory from Aaron Lask, Oliver Meek, Dorian Mannett, Cresswell, and Lucas Blanford. Oh, what a shame for Lucas Blanford. That was turning up to be, for the show and entertainment, a fantastic race, but for Blanford still a great performance. We were disappointed, finding 6 places still from 12th.
Yeah, you've got to feel bad though for Alex Wiley. He was in second place and he was catching Hayden Eldridge, but I believe maybe his tyre came up, or maybe a mechanical failure for him demotes him down to 19th place. But it was a good recovery though from Oliver Meek, up 10 places to third place, and Aaron Lass comes in second place. But as you said before, Hayden Eldridge is on top.
Yeah, he's a different class above everything there, and we will say a big thank you, John. Really appreciate your insight, and best of luck for your final later on for our junior Rotax field, which, as we don't need me to tell you, is very hotly contested. But that was great to have John Richardson in the commentary box there with us for a couple of races there, particularly the senior X30. Now, talking of seniors, let's do our penultimate race of the day. It's senior Rotax. So, senior Rotax final here at the PFI International Circuit in Lincolnshire. It's remained pretty overcast all day. In terms of the rain, we've had little spots and patches of it throughout in dribs and drabs, but mainly stayed pretty clear in this section of the afternoon, in our afternoon sessions, and I'm sure the same will be said for our senior Rotax finals. We're just waiting for a couple of the karts to come on. This is how you can do it. So here we are then, back into the action. Looking forward to Kart Masters in 2026, and also looking for the Honda guest grids. Get involved with the details you saw on your screen there. And if you do want to get your karting license, or you want to get your kids signed up into the world of professional karting, you can do that with our team here at PFI. Particularly Dan Ashton can help you out with that as well, to get your ARCS license. Just use those details on board and you'll be able to get involved with all of those things. Here we are then though, on to our penultimate race of the day. It has flown by. There's been lots of racing action. We've had large amounts of grids. We've had, you know, within senior Rotax, we've had a few groups to be involved with. We've now whittled it down into our final runners for senior Rotax today. Down to 36, in fact. Let me go through whilst I have a chance. Joshua Turnbull leads us off on pole. James Tester, former champ in these neck of the woods need to watch out for. On second, Mikey Walker had a great battle in the last heats. Oliver Liversedge, Joel Dixon-Cohen, Jack Lilly on row 4. George Holbrook, Victor Hansen, Harry Freeman, Joshua Smith, Louis Marika and Liam Hartley is on row 7. Callum Sims, Oliver Walker is on row 8. Suigas Parevalonis is on row 9 alongside Jacob Grun. Deacon Luff for the Jack Dex Racing team alongside Alfie Thompson. Lloyd Hare, who had great battles in the previous senior Rotax heats. Alan Wooden, Jake Fisher, DeShaun Bennett, Corey Fowler, Benjamin Baker, George Kay, James King, Drew Preisner in P29. The number 91 to watch out for. Bailey Heath, Freddie Moore, Ruben Maimlock and Ethan Martin. Ollie Goodyear, unfortunate in the last couple of heats, but here in the final hopefully looking to make a recovery. Matthew So also looking to make a recovery. Liam Moretti rounds off our 36 runners. Who is going to do it here for this round of senior Rotax? There's only one way to find out. We'll be going racing shortly here at PF International, and we are away. And I say that we're away. We're not, because I just noticed there's a false start. Just get me all excited for the start of a race, and then it doesn't happen. But there's reasons for that. There's safety issues. We need our drivers to all be going round through the tram lines as best as they can, so that they all have a fair start as well through our runners here today. Of course, our oldest categories, senior X30 and senior Rotax classes. Also most competitive, you could argue, in senior Rotax. And will equally be as exciting, I'm sure, in this one. Make sure you keep your comments coming in on the live stream on the live chats. Shot by May says best of luck to all Team Evolution drivers for the rest of today. No Team Evolution drivers in this one for the moment. Mixture of teams you'll be seeing: Coles Racing, Jack Dex Racing, Jack's Motorsport, Strawberry Racing, Thule Motorsport, Zip Factory Team, KR Sport, Ultimate R. I say that, there we go, Team Evolution. Alfie Thompson for Team Evolution. The Team Evolution being represented by Alfie off of row 10 in P20 on the grid. And here we go then. Are we going racing? It looks like we are. Into the tram lines. We're away for the senior Rotax final here at the PF Club International round. And into turn 1 we go. Who has retained the lead? Out front, has it been a battle for it, or are we pushing on through into the rest of this race? And out front you can see there, into our senior Rotax final, is Matty Hingley. Matty Hingley is on pole position. Apologies, we thought there was different starting pole positions, but it was Matty Hingley starting on pole. Jared Fox-Whiteley is also in the mix at the front as well. Right, let's get our bearings here. We can see Matty Hingley out front for the Ultimate R team, who's had great performance so far today. Jared Fox-Whiteley also out there. Coming across the start-finish line for the first official time. Matty Hingley with a 10th of a second gap over Joshua Turnbull, followed by Mikey Walker. Jared Fox-Whiteley. Mikey Walker has had a great start, up a series of places, almost 3 or 4 places in the running so far. So great to see Jack's Motorsport following along after Ultimate R, after Coles Racing here into the first hairpin. There's a dive down the inside there, ambitious late move from, I believe, James Tester or Jack Lilly. Jack Lilly on James Tester for P5. So 8 minutes, 20 seconds plus 1 lap of racing to go round here at PF International to decide our senior Rotax finalists and who's going to come out on top and be crowned the winner for this round today. Matty Hingley on the tools a lot, doing the mechanical stuff for his Ultimate R team in the awning, helping out the young drivers. This is his time to shine. Will he take the victory here ahead of Joshua Turnbull, Jared Fox-Whiteley, Mikey Walker, all experienced, very fast racers in an incredible field here at PF International. Jack Leedy down to P5, you can see at the back of your shot there, coming through Matty Hingley, keeping all things pretty orderly at the moment. And Joshua Turnbull not thinking really to go too much into a bit of a lunge at a certain point. That's our number 27, just seeing a red flag, a yellow flag coming onto the circuit. And James Tester, who was running up in P7 with Jack Dex Racing, is no longer in P7. He's going to fall all the way down to the bottom of the grid. So, unfortunately, losing out there. Victor Hansen is now sitting in P7. And Matty Hingley there, just seen a change for the lead on the bridge. Nice move round the outside from Joshua Turnbull. Goes to the lead of the race for Coles Racing, ahead of Ultimate R for Matty Hingley. So Josh Turnbull wants to take the reins of this race with 6.5 minutes to go. Can he stay composed? Can he stay out in front? Is it going to change a lot since then? It probably will, because this is the sport as we know as karting, and a lot changes very, very quickly. Jared Fox-Whiteley is in third position at the moment, onto the podium with his Jack's Motorsport teammate Mikey Walker behind. Fox-Whiteley, you know, is a synonymous name in the realms of karting, and good to see it out on display here once again at PF International for their club championship. Nice dive down the inside there for what looks like 6th or 7th position. Harry Freeman down at P14, setting the timing screens alight, a 56.72, couple of attempts quicker than our front runners. On screen with you right now is the likes of Mikey Walker and Jack Lilly at the front of the field. Here we cut to now Joshua Turnbull, Matty Hingley with a honest 10th of a second gap. It's going to be a close run thing throughout the rest of this final today, our penultimate race of the day here, the second round of the Trent Valley Kart Club Championship, bringing you live coverage for the very first time, live on the Alpha Live YouTube channel, powered by SlipStream. Thank you for our paid members, allowing us to bring incredible coverage of some fantastic racing across the UK. And first of all, here in Lincolnshire today at one of the homes of karting, Adam Wooden sending it into the fastest lap realms, now setting the pace with a 56.67, ahead at least about 2 tenths of any front runners. Shaping a move up the inside there, Fox-Whiteley goes to P2, so up into second it's Jack's Motorsports with Joshua Turnbull for Coles Racing in front and Ultimate R behind. Looking like it's a pretty tense race out there at the moment, with Fox-Whiteley wanting to get after Joshua Turnbull, of course, with about 4 minutes and 20 seconds in this race left to go, and getting ready for our final race of the day. You can see some of our crowd behind there, the junior Rotax runners and teams and members. Lloyd Hare, though, there's a name we haven't seen for a couple of sessions, and now back up in the mix for the fastest lap of the race to take claim of that. A 56.5 now setting the pace out there, Brian. Another couple of attempts. Lloyd Hare is making his way up the grid from 21st. Starting out there, Dan Holland Racing, making up plenty of positions out there at the moment, in P8 right now. And off goes the track, goes Matty Hingley, and it's all completely changed at the front for Matty Hingley, who's gone right down now to, I believe, what is P5. So Matty Hingley has fallen down behind Mikey Walker, Jack Lilly as well for Strawberry Racing. Jack Lilly making some good progress, up a couple of places from a starting position of 7th in this race. And on to the latest lap and round of this 1400 metres here at PF International. Joshua Smith stealing the crown of fastest lap by 1,000th of a second from Lloyd Hare on the previous lap. It's so closely fought and competitive here at PF International at the moment. We pick up Lloyd Hare right there, talking of the man in 8th place at the moment, making some good progress, charging through the field right now, picking up the battle here for 3rd and 4th though. Mikey Walker followed by Jack Lilly. Matty Hingley has sadly fallen away in this race, starting from pole position. Is going to have a lot of work to do to get back out front now to try and catch up to Joshua Turnbull, who's got a quarter of a second lead over Fox Whiteley. Fox Whiteley is then almost 8.5 tenths ahead of Mikey Walker, his teammate for Jack's Motorsport. So Fox Whiteley trying to put the pressure on now with 2 minutes and 1 lap to go here in this senior Rotax final. There is Fox Whiteley though to the lead. I say putting the pressure on. Fox Whiteley has got to the lead ahead of Joshua Turnbull. I think a move off the Litchfield Bridge made that count and happen. Yellow flags being waved in the 3rd sector at the moment as a kart off to the side there. The number 55 that you are seeing on your screens, unfortunately, of Ollie Goodyear. Not a fantastic race for him and a couple of sessions. We'll be wanting to see the back of this round of the Trent Valley Kart Championship 2nd round here. Jared Fox Whiteley had the lead for a while, but Joshua Turnbull goes right back through. Mikey Walker retains 3rd position, but now is got the backside of Jared Fox Whiteley to look at the rear bumper, trying to get past in this senior Rotax final across the Litchfield Bridge there. And back and cutting to the race leaders. Josh Turnbull going super defensive with 50 seconds or so plus 1 lap on the clock. And can you blame him? Because he wants to take home this crown here at the senior Rotax final, and Fox Whiteley wants to get back to the lead. Mikey Walker could also be on the act here. Fox Whiteley up the inside, what a great move. Oh, and they've gone round. Mikey Walker gets caught on Joshua Turnbull, and now Fox Whiteley is out to the lead, and it's all completely changed. In an instant they come across the line, and your order will change from Fox Whiteley to Jack Lilly. Hingley up into P3. It's the unlikeliness of Hingley, who was going to be down and out from the lead not too long ago, could be in this one, could be in this race and come back towards the lead of where he started on pole position. But Fox Whiteley is now careering down towards the hairpin and sees Jack Lilly coming up the inside through the hairpin. They are side by side onto the grass and onto the curb, using every can. Matty Hingley up into P2. He's now got Lloyd Hare for company though, who's come up from P5. Lloyd Hare up into the podium place, he's into 2nd. Can Lloyd Hare throw it up the inside? Nearly gets collected by Matty Hingley in P3. Jared Fox Whiteley looks like he's going to take victory here, coming through the final couple of corners. Ever the opportunist, taking advantage of the things behind him in just a second, because the final lap board is out. Fox Whiteley has got only 1 lap to go to secure his place here in the Club Championship Round 2 Hall of Fame and bring back some silverware, some trophies to the ever-extending cabinet. Fox Whiteley is out in the lead, but as he retains the lead into the hairpin, he has. Lloyd Hare, though, is round the outside. Can he make a move, switch back around the inside? Matty Hingley, though, gets caught up. Matty Hingley's gone back to the lead. This is extraordinary. Jack Lilly's now gone through. The first 2 have now changed completely. And is Matty Hingley going to hold on to this through the Mike Wilson complex? Oh, this also goes. Oh, Lloyd Hare's off. And Lloyd Hare went off, I thought then, and also Fox Whiteley get caught up a little bit there. Matty Hingley is looking like he is going to take victory here for this senior Rotax final. He comes across the line and he takes it by 0.005 of a second, half a tenth. Wow. That's what you call a final. Oh my goodness. So some comings together there in the final few moments for Fox Whiteley. Also, I'm pretty sure for Lloyd Hare as well, who lost out on that lap 2, who was looking pretty racy up there. Lloyd Hare come across the line in 24th in the end, and it all changed in an instant. But Matty Hingley, who dropped down from P1, then down to P5, found his way back, took advantage of the goings-on in that third and final sector, kept it together for the final few corners, took advantage in the second hairpin, and that is how you compose yourself and claim victory here at PF International for this second round in the Club Championship. Fantastic performance from Hingley, measured, composed, and if we're honest, a little bit lucky with what happened in the final few stages of the race. But he forced the issue, he made it count, and that is what matters in the end here at PF International. When you've got those kind of opportunities into those hairpins, into the third and final sectors, you're definitely going to take them. Right, well, we are nearly done for our Rotax heats. But as we've got a moment or two whilst our drivers all get cleared up with their karts here before the final race of the day, let's see if you would like to volunteer here at Trent Valley Kart Championship. It's easy for me to say. It's easier to do, though, and get involved. How you do it?
Have you ever watched a kart race and felt the excitement, the speed, the competition, the energy, and thought, I'd love to be part of that? Well, here's your chance. Our kart race meetings are powered not just by drivers and teams, but by an incredible group of volunteers who make every race day possible. Without them, the racing simply wouldn't happen. Whether you're a motorsport fan, a parent of a driver, someone looking for experience, or you just enjoy being part of a team, we'd love to have you join us. What can volunteers do? There's a role for everyone. Track marshals, right at the heart of the action, ensuring safety on circuit. Grid and pit lane assistance, helping line up karts and keep the race meetings running smoothly. Scrutineering support, assisting with safety checks. Race control and administration, supporting timing, paperwork and organisation. Event setup and pack down crew, the team that makes it all happen behind the scenes. No prior experience? No problem. We provide training, support and mentoring. All you need is enthusiasm and reliability. Why volunteer? Be part of the thrilling world of kart racing. Learn new skills and gain valuable experience. Meet like-minded people and make great friends. Get close to the action in a safe and structured environment. Support grassroots motorsport and young drivers chasing their dreams. Many top racing drivers started their journey in karting. Our volunteers are part of that story. What's the commitment? You can volunteer for a single event or become a regular member of our team. We run regular race meetings throughout the year and every event needs dedicated people like you. Even a few days a year makes a huge difference. If you'd like to get involved with Trent Valley Kart Club, please speak to us today in the race control office or contact us at claire@tvkc.co.uk. Come and be part of the team that makes race day possible. Because when the lights go out and the race begins, it's not just the drivers who make it happen, it's all of us. Thank you, and we hope to welcome you trackside soon.
Yes, if you'd like to volunteer as part of oh my god, I can't say it the last couple of minutes. If you'd like to volunteer as part of Trent Valley Kart Club, there we go, made it work that time, then you are more than welcome to come and be part of the action here. And what you've seen today, if you're part of all this, I mean, it's just, imagine having that on your CV, or just, just generally enjoying life down here, one of the greatest circuits in the UK for karting. They would love to hear from you. But we'll be getting into our final race of the day shortly, and our junior Rotax runners will be going out in a few moments or so. Just still got a yellow flag in the third and final sector of the circuit at the moment. Once we had a pretty big crash, what looked like a big incident, into one of the walls near the Fullerton S's earlier in today, and also early in this session. So they're just getting that cart cleared away and safely whilst that's all being put together. You can see on your screens there, getting that all out the way. And I'm not too sure that I'm probably maybe Lloyd might have been Lloyd Hare caught up in that because we didn't see him classify pretty that high up. But lots of racers getting caught up in those final bits. Corey Fowler, Josh Turnbull, Mikey Walker, Liam Hartley, Ollie Goodyear. Unfortunate for Ollie Goodyear did stop out on track. DeJean Bennett didn't finish that race. Oliver Liversedge didn't finish that race either. But we're just getting through our final few bits of housekeeping out on track. Let's do some housekeeping of our own here on the live stream where you've been putting your messages in the chat. Thank you to our very supportive SlipStream members who have joined as a member, which means you can be catching the live action right now on our YouTube channel, powered by SlipStream. Alpha Live is bringing you this today, the Trent Valley Kart Club Championship of Round 2. And you can see comments on Jensen also saying, "Come on, Blakey boy." Yes, wishing him good luck in just a moment or so for Junior Rotax. And also good luck to Josh Turnbull, who we just had in that race. But of course, finished a bit further down, unfortunately as a result of some incidents out there in those incidents for Coles Racing. So I'm pretty sure we're very close to getting underway. It's just the nature of obviously incidents between races and between sessions. And whilst we wait to get underway for our Junior Rotax final for today, let's quickly tell you about a very special year for Kartmasters. So Kartmasters coming around the corner here at PF International in 2026, and we cannot wait to be part of it here at Alpha Live. But let's get into your grid then for the final race of the day, and it's the Junior Rotax final. Teddy Cooper starts on pole position. Charlie Wolfit for Dan Holland Racing. Back to Ewan House for Coles Racing in P3. Can do a lot from there. Tom Reed for Tooley Racing is Tooley Motorsport rather in P4. Connor Large, Ryan Rapini. There again, look down in P6. Theo Bradshaw, Zip Factory Team 7th. Harrison Bishop 8th. Jack Robinson, followed by Blake Southern for Dan Holland Racing. Charlie Vary also up in the mix there as well, down to Harvey Sargerson. Harry Holland, who was also batting at the front in those early races. Ryan White, Logan House, Kevin Ivanov, John Richardson, who was joining us in the commentary box as our guest commentator for our previous races from the X30 races. Liam Dooling, Braith Murdoch, Joseph Berkery, Max Wheatley, Alex Lynn, down to Karthik Kumeta, Ronnie Smart, Hayden Fisher, George Fountain, Aston Brown, Harry Harvey, Harry Meyer Waldron, Alex Shepherd, Daniel, Adam Atis, Oliver Fabricius, Ellis Bell, Fletcher Jameson. See what he can do from the third back from the grid. And also Devin Taylor and Thomas Jackson as we go racing here for our Junior Rotax final for the final race of the day. And out in front, Teddy Cooper retaining the lead. There's yellow flags though, as we've got some drivers off into a couple of the barriers. As you come through the chicane, Teddy Cooper though will be keeping his mind in front and not too distracted by what's going on behind him. Teddy Cooper followed by Charlie Wolfit behind, who's trying to dive down the inside and make the move stick, but Charlie Wolfit loses out to the defence of Teddy Cooper and has held position, a strong defence there. Oh goodness, who's cutting grass there on the outside? That's Theo Bradshaw for the Zip Factory team. Don't want to be getting out there too much of the black stuff. A look at this posturing move, trying to find some way round the outside. It's defensive driving to the max from Teddy Cooper at the moment, because he needs to try and hold off Charlie Wolfit, who is being incredibly passionate in this first lap of the race because he knows he's got the pace. He's going up the inside. Teddy Cooper loses the lead to Charlie Wolfett, who takes P1 for the very first time, up from second place, and now settling into a new status quo here at PF International, although I feel like it's going to change all very soon. You can see the 73 of Conor Large pushing his rival out the way off the Litchfield Bridge, almost with kind of the magic inside of the carts, and almost like got a barrier around them. Out onto the banking of the Litchfield Bridge. There's Ewan House on your screen in P4, has dropped a place on the start for his Coles Racing team. Teddy Cooper in P2. There is Ewan House. There follows Tom Reed, followed by Theo Bradshaw, Conor Large, Ryan Rapini in P7 as well. Lost a place on the start. Ryan Rapini will be wanting to put good use to that when he comes across the start-finish line again. But look at the gap, the slight gap that Charlie Wolfett's got. It's small, but it's valuable. 7 tenths of a second. Ewan House back there, almost to a second off the lead. Dive down the inside from the Dan Holland Motorsport team further back as well. Nice move going on there on your screen. Here's your top 3, 4 and 5th drivers. Theo Bradshaw at the back there. You can see them all coming into the hairpin now. And Tom Reed also in the mix there. And Coles Racing's Ewan House up to second place, up the inside of the second hairpin. One of the prime overtaking spots here at PF International. Probably where the most overtakes happen, along with the bowl section. It's a fantastic spot to catch your rival off guard in a traction race off the hairpin and duck and under and do the switchback. Ewan House making that look like bread and butter, and he's done it plenty of times before, as he comes then following on to Charlie Wolfett and chasing him down with Charlie Wolfett across the line. Fastest lap of the race at the moment is in the realms of Harry Myatt Waldron, down in P25 right now. Gone to then Ronnie Smart, 59 and 5-1. 59.5 seconds is the fastest lap round here at the moment. Who is going to find their way towards the fastest lap of the race and potentially purple pace to bring them out in front? Teddy Cooper going really defensive on Theo Bradshaw because he needs to for that third place. Theo Bradshaw challenging him all the time. Charlie Wolfett, nice side shot there from our Alpha Live team, sort of capturing the speed of where they're going through this third and final sector and the concentration and ability that Charlie Wolfett needs out front to stay there out in the lead, ahead of Ewan House, ahead of Teddy Cooper. 6 minutes plus 1 lap, there you go, setting the pace. Charlie Wolfett, but now down to Harrison Bishop, 2 seconds or so off the lead. This group really close together, almost the top 9, top 10, all in touching distance of each other. Close racing we've had all day here throughout the Trent Valley Kart Club Championship of this second round, but even more so right now here for our final race of the day and our junior Rotax final playing out right before your eyes. Charlie Wolfett leading Ewan House from Teddy Cooper and Tom Reed, Theo Bradshaw, Blake Southern down to P6. Harrison Bishop though has made up a couple of places in that lap, fastest lap pace, proving that it's worth 2 positions, up to 7th from P9. So nice progress there being made by our drivers. This is anyone's race at the moment from all of those drivers on screen. Ellis Bell, Fletcher Jameson now setting the purple pace out there. Fletcher Jameson setting a 58.2, 3 tenths of a lap quicker than anyone else out there at the moment. Is that going to continue into the rest of this race? Teddy Cooper into second position, has jumped Ewan House off the Litchfield Bridge when we were off camera there. So nice claiming of a position for Teddy Cooper to regain some of that prowess he had early in the race, getting off onto the curb. Harrison Bishop isn't really getting out there too much for his Kiddix UK team in the second hairpin. Ewan House on screen with you right now, chasing down after Charlie Wolfett. Back up to P2 is Ewan House. So it's toing and froing all the time. 4 minutes plus 1 lap to go. They come across the start-finish line, you can see the proud Scottish flag on the top of Ewan House's helmet, mixed in with the liveries of Dan Holland Racing and Charlie Wolfett up front. It's also getting a bit spicy towards the back of P7, P8, P9, down towards the top 10. Now covered by about 4 seconds. The gap has opened up. Look at this battle going on here. Ewan House going defensive, trying to hold off Tom Reed. And now they all get caught up in the mix. Coming together, Blake Southern gets caught up in that action there and has lost out through all the efforts of what's been happening there. Look at the lead now that Charlie Wolfett has been able to establish ahead of the field after all the scrapping behind, and Ewan House getting really defensive to try and stave off Tom Reed in P3. You can see coming through your picture there, Ellis Bell back to P6 in this race. So he's making some steady progress through this field. Fletcher Jameson up to P8 has stalled somewhat in this mid-pack for P8. You can see it's so close and tight out there with 3 minutes to go plus the 1 lap of racing action left here of round 2 of the Trent Valley Kart Club Championship, brought to you by Alpha Live, powered by SlipStream. Right now, for the first time in 2026, you're seeing live racing action here from PF International's Club Championship. Trying to move up the inside, but unsuccessfully doing that was the racer of Harrison Bishop for Kiddix UK down in P12. Some drivers going off there in the background, trying to find their way back onto the black stuff to keep it all in the one direction they want to keep going, and that is forwards. Looking dry out there at the moment, dark clouds, more ominous all the time around this PF International circuit, but just about staving away is any rain at the moment, but it looks pretty ominous. Is there going to be a final twist in the tail towards the end of this race? Charlie Wolfett certainly hopes not. 1.2 seconds out in the lead from Ewan House. Look at the gap there, and now Tom Reed's up the inside of Ewan House. Ewan House now going defensive on Theo Bradshaw, because Theo Bradshaw goes round the outside, doesn't quite make it work though on Ewan House, and Ewan House lives to fight another day to chase on after the rest of the field. And Charlie Wolfett out in front now, whilst they're scrapping even more so. Tom Reed, 1.5 seconds off the lead. It's looking more cemented now that Charlie Wolfett is going to have this race in the bag. He's just got to remain composed out there, not make any mistakes, and just keep focused on the race ahead in front of him. For the Dan Holland Racing outfit, wants to bring home some silverware, some trophies for them this weekend. Ewan House going defensive once again to fend off Theo Bradshaw. There he is on your screen right now, the two of them, closely followed behind by Teddy Cooper, who's gone from pole position down to P5 in this race for the Kiddix UK team. On your screen right there was Charlie Wolfett, as is the gap behind them. Tom Reed, there's Theo Bradshaw up the inside of Ewan House. So Theo Bradshaw now trying to gain momentum off that run of the second hairpin into the Fullerton S's, of Theo Bradshaw thankfully just about shuts the door without causing too much carnage into the Fullerton S's. And up the inside there is your 46 runner of Ellis Bell. So Ellis Bell making moves in this race as well. But where is Ewan House gone to? Ewan House, I did think that he was out of the picture somewhat. 8th place, he's gone down to 8th. So Ewan House now looks like he's completely out of the mix in this race on the penultimate lap that we've gone on to now. Charlie Wolfett, 1.5 seconds ahead of Tom Reed. Theo Bradshaw is on the podium place right now. Theo Bradshaw started 7th for the Zip Factory team. Not too bad showing, going up 4 places to be in the mix here in the final few stages. This is going to be your final racing action for Trent Valley Kart Club's Championship for a month, so drink it in, soak it up, and enjoy the final few corners and lap that we have between us now, and the checkered flag for Charlie Wolfett, who is out front in the lead by about 1.5 seconds. A steady gap he's been able to maintain ahead of Tom Reed. Here we go then, we'll follow our leader and the runners behind for the final lap. Tom Reed coming through, Theo Bradshaw, Ellis Bell, and closely followed behind, and in a battle between the two of them, Teddy Cooper, Blake Southern, who's got the fastest lap of the race right now. Braith Murdoch has had a 5-second penalty in 5th place just been awarded to him, so can Ewan House take advantage of that penalty, which will jump him up to 5th position as well. Charlie Wolfett just making sure that the radiator next to him is working all in good condition and doesn't need to put it through too much stress now to see him across the finish line. He's coming into the final complex there now, and looks like he's going to take victory with the other runners behind. Theo Bradshaw in 3rd place on that final podium spot. Tom Reed ahead of them, and also ahead of them to take the checkered flag is going to be Charlie Wolfett for Dan Holland Racing here at PF International. That is how you do things around this Trent Valley Kart Club. Charlie Wolfett takes home the trophy, 1.6 seconds ahead of Tom Reed, Theo Bradshaw, Ellis Bell, Braith Murdoch, Ewan House. Unfortunate race ending for him down in P6. Fletcher Jameson in P7, Blake Southern in P8, Jack Robinson in P9, and Teddy Cooper rounding off your top 10, having started in pole position at the front of this race, went all the way down, just about clinching on to the top 10. Well, there we are then. We're pretty much done for the racing action today here at PF International for the second round of their club championship. It's been myself, Jake Peach, looking after things on commentary. Just want to say a big thank you to our team out there on the circuit today. Jess, Dan and James on the cameras, Luke on the producing, who's been cutting the different shots for you, been talking in my ear, telling me what's been happening, playing all of those things all together for you, making sure it is looking pretty good. And also all of our cameramen out there and camera people out there today, we just want to give them a big round of applause. They're always catching the action for you here around this circuit and braving the elements of the cold conditions, the rain, and all of what else goes with that. But here we are then for the conclusion of your Trent Valley Kart Club coverage, and we will catch you very soon in a month's time when we come back for round 3. Congratulations to all of our winners. My name is Jake Peach, and I will see you the next time.